Technical difficulties with the theme song this week. Not sure what's going on. It says it's playing, but... So, vamp for me, Ian. Hum some music. Do something.
Do you want me to try it on my end?
Yeah, because I don't know why. I don't... Maybe I need to restart iTunes. That might be the... It might be something going on. I don't... Yeah, that's Monday for you, folks. First day after vacation. Gotta dust out the cobwebs, and the computer's like, what am I doing? Where are we? Who are you? I don't remember you. Were you here before? You must be new. I've been here for 30 years. No, you're new. I've never seen you before.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
yeah, this is me vamping. Dun 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 dun. I don't know. Okay, so.
Okay, let's try this.
It just started working on my end too.
Is that loud enough?
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Hey, me in the other room. How you doing? Oh, I'm doing alright. I should do the entire show like this. Just an entire podcast of me talking about how great I am. Well, I guess that's kind of what I did the first 2 seasons, isn't it? Anyway, so, hey everybody, It's alright, I just got it working right when I heard yours come on, so I was like, let him do it. I'll finish the show off properly with mine, at the end, so. Alright, so. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Ben, and joining me, as usual, is my co-host, Ian. How you doing, Ian?
Pretty good.
Well, that was a lot of...
Pretty good.
Okay, that's better. Let's get some enthusiasm up in this joint, come on! Alright, so, it's alright, man. It's the Monday after the 4th of July. We have a right to be tired because we just did everything and whatever. I would say it's National Hangover Day, except that's, the day after New Year's Eve. New Year's Day, whatever. That's like, no, you go drink. That's what you do. The 4th of July is when you go barbecuing and, and stuff. And other stuff. So...
What would you have for the 4th of July? Did you have some tofu ribs or something? What do you have?
Buffalo ribs? No, we did bring some buffalo jerky
ribs.
back. Well, actually my celebration for the 4th of July was making it back. Because we went all the way, we were going to go to Wyoming, and we made it to South Dakota and said, no, we're not doing this. Like, we've been driving for like 3 days, and if we go to Wyoming and we want to go to Yellowstone National Park, hey, boo-boo! So, we were going to go to Wyoming and drive all the way there. Like, that's just days of just driving, and like, we wouldn't get any time just hanging out there. So we just figured, let's just stay in South Dakota and then drive back. So, when I got back from all that trip, it was actually, the 4th was when we arrived back home, and it's like, I'm just gonna crash. I don't need fireworks. I don't need nothing. So.
Yeah. It's been a long weekend, I think, for everybody, man.
Yeah, for all those included. So.
Yeah.
So, what have you been up to, Ian? Because I've got a nice road trip story that I'm gonna regale everybody with. Or we can do a little. We can just summarize our weekends real quick. You can do the news, and I can go into talking about being on the road. Oh.
Right. Well, also, I wanted to talk for this episode. I was going to try to have a little bit of education in here. I was going to talk about just
You're gonna tell us about the bad touch. I got you. Stranger danger. Just say no.
No, I was just gonna give some tips on painting stuff, like spray painting and stuff.
Ooh, cool.
Because that's what I've been doing. I've been working on my server rack a little bit, and I've been painting things black. And
oh, because you're oh so goth, and everyone's a conformist.
Yeah. But no, we'll try to fit it as much as we can in here. As far as my weekend went, it was pretty good. I mean, I hung out with my parents for most of the weekend. Went over to my parents, and we had some ribs and some other like hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff. Meat.
Dead animal carcasses. That smells freedom and independence. So.
Yeah. And we were planning on going to like a park that had professional fireworks, but we just hung out at a neighbor's, and actually some people, it looks like they did spend decent amount of money on fireworks in their backyard, so it was a pretty nice show. There's probably looked like at least $1,000 in fireworks.
I like the quantifier there, professional fireworks, because on all the way up to even now at midnight, you'll still hear people pew pew. I spent money on these fireworks. We're gonna send them off pow pow. Because if you have a pet, you know what it's like. You've got the cat or the dog, and they're like, "What's that? Somebody fire at us! We're under attack! Hide!" It's like, no. It's just people who don't understand that some people want to sleep when it's dark out.
Yeah. Well, also what I mean by professional too is the fireworks that generally can cost upwards of like $50 or $100 just for a couple fireworks.
Yeah, I don't know. The fireworks are weird. For a long time, I didn't think they were technically legal in the state, weren't they? I don't know, because on the way back driving, it seemed like every 10 feet there was a fireworks stand. It's like, and every one of them had the big inflatable gorilla. Fireworks! Buy some stuff!
Well, I'm not too sure either. I'm pretty sure that it was one side of the equation that was legal, like you couldn't buy it or sell it, or either or.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was you couldn't sell them. I guess I don't know.
So like if you just like traded them, barter system. It's kind of like how gambling isn't technically legal, but you can go to skill games. Wink. So, oh man. So yeah, it's been a fun 4th. So, but yeah, did you want to just jump into the news so we can get this show rolling?
Okay. That's fine. Let's see. Let's get our news intro going. Getting back into the swing of things here.
Yes, remember to keep things lively for the chat room. We've got Sam Doug joined us. I've been chatting with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're just talking about, fireworks and stuff, Some states they're legal, some they're not, man. And sometimes it's just what you buy right across the border. Kind of like meth. Except it explodes. So, I guess kind of maybe worse? I don't know.
I don't know. Who even knows? No one knows.
The authorities, they know, and they will prosecute you. I don't know.
Okay, hold on.
The news with Ian.
Yep. Okay, this first one is about a little bit about security, I guess. probably a lot about security, but this one is about Massachusetts Supreme Court says they can order you to decrypt your computer. So like if you get arrested or whatever, they can order you to decrypt your computer if they have like suspicion that there's something on it that's valuable to prosecute you or whatever, and they wouldn't need a warrant for it. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I kind of just assumed that thing would be, assumed at most situations, unless somebody, I mean, even if somebody pleads the fifth, they're still like, we're going to get into your thing. It's just another thing to trip them up. Like, you have to encrypt it or else your charges can go up. So I can understand it. I mean, there's all kinds of things that they do when they, collect evidence of a computer. Like I had a professor once that used to work in like computer forensics kind of stuff, and she was describing how, like, if you had to take a computer out of a room, that there's a way to plug power into it, and then you can physically cut the wire that's plugged into the wall, so if there's something stored in the RAM, it won't get lost and stuff. It's like, that's something you have to really think about when somebody's got some incriminating stuff on their machine, and I don't think I ever want to be in that guy's position. So,
I was reading,
and then when you go across the border too, I think they can ask you to like search your laptop, because some states, like if you go into Canada, I've heard all kinds of issues with like people bringing manga up there, and like the border agents thinking it's not just hentai but like illegal hentai, and and trying and saying, oh, we need to confiscate this, and get people getting held up, and it's not it's a little. It's another position I would never want to be in at the border, going, okay, show us all the stuff. What's on your hard drive? It's like, that terrifies me, the thought of it.
Right. Yeah. I was reading the other day about how the NSA, they have technology to be able to see what's on your monitor just by like receiving like the electromagnetic frequency that's emitted from the monitor, I guess, and they could do it from like.
So government magic is what you're saying. It's like, hold on, we got a guy in a big tub of water, and he's got his fingers to his temples. He's going, It's like Minority Report, only even weirder. So. I don't know. I kind of get a little weirded out when they explain how this stuff is done, because I don't want some guy reading it and going, oh, I could do that! I could totally, like, read my neighbor's email. No, don't. Just, no. Don't do... You're gonna cause trouble, and you're gonna get yourself in more trouble. Just don't. So, alright. Yeah. So, moving along. I don't really know what to say about that one, other than... I guess it was kind of assumed it's just something that they're going to charge you with, just like, if you refuse a breathalyzer test, or, refuse this or that,
Okay, this next one is about Facebook. You guys probably already heard about it. Some of these I researched, like, last week, because I was going to do an episode with Nate, but Nate was incognito, I guess, or I don't know what's going on with him.
Oh, I hear Cognito's really nice this time of year. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun! Bump.
Another zinger from Ben.
That's how I roll.
Nice. Yeah, he was nowhere to be found, so... Oh well, it was just nice to take a break anyways. Whatever.
Yeah, we all know you're sick of me, and I know. It's tough to listen to my voice every week, so... Oh man.
Yeah, this one is about Facebook. It's the ethical problem with Facebook's emotional experiment. Facebook teamed up with academia to manipulate users' emotions in a week-long science experiment, but users had no idea that they were test subjects. CNET's Bridget Garvey explains Facebook's latest controversy. But So yeah, there's a video on here, so you guys can take a look at it through the link here.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that because, like, I got notifications that so-and-so feels sad, so-and-so feels happy, and I'm just like, I was sitting there going, I didn't know that was a thing, but I guess some people can do, I was like, I guess people can do that now, and oh crap, that's going to be really annoying if people I know take their emotions every time they change, because, you know, some people, they take like 37 photos on their way to the bathroom. I don't think I need, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm crazy, I'm happy again, you know, so...
It says Facebook is being criticized over a lack of transparency in the experiment. Facebook didn't alert any of the participants, but says users were fair game for it. That's because the data use policy states information can be used in research. By agreeing to the data use policy, Facebook's users agreed to be harassed without consent.
Hey, Ian, can you get closer to the mic? Our listeners are complaining.
Sorry. But no, it was just basically saying that Facebook didn't have any transparency on this. So
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard they were apologizing for. Not that they screwed with your emotions like a rat in a cage, but that they were like, oh, we just weren't, you know, upfront. Like, we're totally going to do that kind of thing again because that's what you signed up for. And it's like, whoa, guys. I think that's kind of like the thing where, you know, it's like, oh, hey, they just admitted that, like, hey, they're totally going to screw with us some more for testing purposes. And it's like, well, we're just going to accept it because nobody's going to quit Facebook. So, well, welcome to this ride. Nobody's really going to quit until they start either leaking your security info or taking your money. Then there will be hell to pay. But when it's just annoyances, because Facebook, you know, people get annoyed about the changes to the Facebook page all the time. So it's, I guess, to some level they don't care, which I guess is kind of a good thing because every day I'm sure they get thousands of people. I don't like the new Facebook. It hasn't changed. Or I don't like it anyway. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's for me, that's like my biggest problem with a lot of these, you know, like security issues, like with, you know, like if you're talking about the NSA or Facebook or Google or whatever, it's that it's sort of, it's not really that transparent, you know. I mean, despite who leaks the information, like Edward Snowden or whatever, it's that it was sort of kept secret, you know. I mean, if it was all out in the open, then it wouldn't be as huge of a deal, you know.
Well, if they just said, hey, guess what, guys? Between the hours of 8 and 10 p.m., we're going to be screwing with your feed to see who reacts. You know, I'm sure even if they did do that, you know, there'd be people who were like, oh, I just saw it and didn't even read it, and I was totally mad because every April 1st, there's somebody who's like, what? This was a joke. I really wanted to buy this thing, or I was really betting that they were going to shut down this website, or, you know, it's like people are gullible. So, I don't know. I don't know. There's a level of how much transparency you can get, because, I mean, if they're just testing with users, I really don't expect them to be very transparent. I mean, I'm sure some users will try to go to the website someday and, like, you'll suddenly just send them to eBay. And it's like, hey, this isn't where I went. And it's like, well, we're just screwing with you. It's like, that's what they can do. I don't know what all that can be gained from it.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I don't use Facebook a whole lot myself, so, I mean, if it got, like, really bad and, you know, I had to choose if I wanted to quit, if I wanted to keep it or not, I wouldn't be missing out on a whole lot, you know.
Well, the only reason anybody stays on any social platform is because of the people there. You know, it's because really it doesn't, like, the only reason is, oh, hey, everyone I know from my high school and college is here, I guess I'll hang out. Because if it was just like, every week there's a, join this new social media thing, Google Plus, crickets, it's like, okay, fine. MySpace, cobwebs, hello? Anybody home? I don't know. Yeah. So, okay, third news, you got anything, any other comments? I'm sorry if I'm walking over you, man. I just want to try and keep the show going.
Oh no, I understand. It's okay. Actually, I was gonna ask you if you did you watch any videos on that Google I/O or whatever that was? Where they showed like all the things that they were gonna do for the future or whatever. I don't know.
Well, I think I might have seen some of that, but that's only because I watched the video for that Glenn Keane animation for Duet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think
I watched a little. I watched that part, but it's like it was in like the middle of like a 3-hour video, and then later somebody just pulled that part, and then later there was more stuff of it. So I don't know. I mean, it seems fascinating. They're like, oh, look at all this technology we can use, and like that's cool. But I'm not gonna sit through a tech demos because I don't know anything. Pull out a highlight reel first because I am lost. So
yeah. Okay. Well, their article is about Microsoft may prioritize a desktop for Windows 9. So I guess Microsoft is gonna, try to make their OS applicable for the device that it's on. So it's nice to not have a tablet interface on a desktop.
But I like to go up and touch my screen. I mean, I don't know. That's the thing is like I never understood. Like some computers do have like touch, like with the new Cintiqs with the touch thing and all that stuff, and you can have little gestures for your mouse. The gesture pad just like a mouse or like a trackpad. But still, if you're on a computer, most people are still using a mouse. I don't know, man. So, I mean, it's funny that like Apple, who have the iPhone and the iPad, and like they've really been pushing for all this touch stuff. It's like their operating system has moved more tablety, but they still know no, we totally don't want to go straight to the one OS yet. We kind of, we're not going to make that mistake. And Microsoft's just like, what? You don't need a start button anymore, guys. What's going on? What did you do? So,
yeah. The article says the latest rumor from Microsoft community is confusing. Microsoft may disable by default the Metro defined start screen on desktop-based computers in Windows 9, what is currently referred to as threshold.
Now, is Windows 9 supposed to... Windows 8 was the bad one, right? Because it's supposed to go like Star Trek movies. It's like every other one's the good one. So Windows 8 was the one that everyone's avoiding, and now Windows 9 is going to be the one, okay, we'll fix it. Even though I'd argue if you get a late edition, Windows 8, that's all the security stuff is going to be fixed, and they cosmetically make it look more like what you wanted with the old version. So, just like with Vista, it'd be like, we're making it look more like what you want, but you gotta wait a long time, and by that point it rolls over anyway, so...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, as a Mac user, what... Do you like the fact that each OS, like, has its own name? I mean, it seems like Windows is just starting to go with just the numbers now,
Yeah, which can get confusing. I mean, on Mac, they used to use the big cat naming schematic, and I guess they were just running out, because after a while, like, they kind of don't have, like, really major versions of the OS anymore. Like, there's always another version coming out, but it's incremental. Like, they're just creeping them out there, so it's like, to name one Lion and Mountain Lion, and it's all, they don't really need to have stuff like that. Plus, I think it's kind of limiting to have a format. So, I don't know. But on the other hand, Mavericks, I like a theme at least, because with Mavericks, it's like, what is that? What is John McCain sponsoring this one? Is Sarah Palin in on it? I don't know. I don't know though. It's because they do have numbered versions. There's like 10.8, 10.7, 10.5, and if a website just lists, oh, are you using Mac OS 10 point whatever, and I'm like, I don't remember what number I'm on. Oh, Mavericks, yes, that's what I'm on. Because I think most people lose numbers, because numbers don't mean things after a certain level to some people, unless you're like a real crazy math guy. You don't really think in terms of like, you know what I'm saying?
I think so.
Okay. Well, Penn and Teller did an episode about numbers where he was eating a thing of M&Ms. He's like, okay, here's like 4 M&Ms. I understand that. My monkey brain can understand that. Here's 40 M&Ms. Okay, I can kind of grasp this. Once you get this big bowl where there's like 2,000 M&Ms, he's like, I can't really process or comprehend this other than, that's a lot. So, it's like, I don't know. I'm rambling. As usual.
No, that's fine, man. I'm ready to move on to the next news article here.
Sure.
This one's sort of crazy. Hoarder dies after house collapses under weight of debris inside Connecticut home. A reclusive woman believed to be a hoarder was found dead in her basement after the first floor of her Connecticut home collapsed, apparently under the weight of all her stuff, according to reports. The home was such a wreck with stacks of clutter piled to the ceiling and waist-high hills of debris on the first floor that rescuers had to abandon their attempt on Friday to find 66-year-old Beverly Mitchell.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Whenever there's an emergency situation where, like, you know, when they find a survivor from a building collapse, like, 5 days later, and they're like, this man survived, you know, or like, this person survived a week with no food or water, didn't know he was going to be able to get out, and he's, you know, he's a symbol of, you know, strength. But there's a certain point where, like, if a building, you know, that's like when 9/11 happened, it's like that kind of thing. When it collapses, it's like, you're not looking for survivors, you're looking for evidence of, you know, and remains, because everyone gets, like, you know, just completely like, nobody's going to survive. Like when the Red Cross was like, yeah, we're not really looking for donations of blood. They had all this blood coming in because people wanted to donate, you know, to try and, it's like, that's not really what happens under these situations. People don't come out. And, you know, it's like, that's why we have shows like Hoarders Buried Alive and stuff like that. So, you know, it's like, you're supposed to not want to fill your house with stuff and try and live in it, especially nowadays with all those sinkholes and everything showing up. It's like, you don't want to literally get buried alive. That's not good. You know, crushed to death by stuff. I don't know, man. I mean, I have respect for, you know, people that are hoarders. Like, you know, it's a mental thing that they have to deal with, and, like, you know, it stems from other issues, and, you know, like, it's, you know, it's not the it's this thing for them to have to deal with and come to terms with and overcome. But still, man, that's not a way I think anybody ever wants to go, is get buried by a pile of, it's usually trash. It's not even like, you know, their collection of Beatles records on vinyl, never opened, you know, the Action Comics #1. It's never that. It's always empty bottles of aspirin, you know. It's the stuff they just literally cannot get rid of, so,
but,
I don't know,
yeah,
man.
You're right, it's rarely, like, hoarders are rarely, like, really clean and tidy hoarders, you know.
OCD, yeah.
But, I mean, it could get pretty bad. Like, it could become a not only, like, life-threatening, like, with this elderly woman, but it could be just dangerous in general to your health. Some of the, like, with all they'll have, like, cat piss and urine.
Oh, and the ammonia,
crap, you know?
Yeah, and the stuff that, like, it's physically dangerous for people to go in. I've seen episodes of Hoarders where they think they're going to go in and clean it up, and they go in the first day and they go, no, this is not savable. This is, you know, like, there was one guy, he was, you know, he was an elderly man, and his 2 adult kids came back and they were estranged from him, and they were talking about, like, you know, you're going to be put in an adult, you know, care facility because unless you clean up your hoarded house, because you literally can't get in this house. And he showed them where he lived. He lived inside of a camper that was like, it was like 100 degrees. The refrigerator was unplugged, or like didn't work, so it was full of rotting stuff, and his medications were in there. And they're like, this door doesn't work. How do you get in? He's like, oh, I climb in the window. He's like, it's like 90 degrees. You can't live like this. It's like, oh, I'm fine. And like, no, this is going from, you know, we need to convince you why being a hoarder is not a good lifestyle, to you cannot take care of yourself. And like he would fight with his kids, and he would, instead of cursing at them, he'd start singing "God Bless America," and it's like, okay, so it's very clear this man has some issues. It's, it's not the kind of thing you can talk him out of. Or like I saw another hoarder who like he tore down this shack in his backyard and found a homeless guy living in it, and he was agreeing to help. He wanted to help him, clean up his stuff too. He's like, oh yeah, I'm home, man. It's like, no, you're not realizing there's a problem. This isn't like, oh, we'll fix this over the weekend. This is years of court stuff and going to doctors and I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know usually like when people try to do an intervention with hoarders, they try to get them to sell their stuff, and usually they don't want to. But I think it would help a lot of hoarders to actually try to like set up like their own store and like try to, or like a pawn shop or whatever, and where they can get new stuff and then sell old stuff and stuff. So, I mean, either way, they would be surrounded by tons of crap,
Well, I think the problem is you don't want to invite them into a situation where they can bring in more useless crap. It's like the thing about hoarder shows, like the people that are on those, they're usually, having reached an agreement with the state or whatever that like they're going to be like, kicked out of their house and be homeless, or face some sort of thing where like they lose custody of their own faculties, and have a guardian and stuff. So like they're using it as their bargaining chip to go, okay, if I appear on this show and show you that I'm changing my ways and making an effort, can I keep my home, or can I not face whatever? And like, I don't know, making people, I don't know. I think most of us watch those shows some out of like that morbid curiosity of like as like a circus guy watching it, going, man, I don't understand how. And then some of us watch it and go, I'm just gonna clean my room now. I'm a little concerned. I think I have too much stuff. I'm gonna go put stuff in the garage and then sell it next week because, So
yeah,
I think it's a good to some degree to see that, because some people may not realize it. Like Stephen King, when he was an addict, he realized he was an alcoholic when he was filling the trash can full of beers, and he didn't realize it until he started recycling, and he went out like a weekend and checked the trash bag. He's like, this thing is full. I'm the only one drinking. Oh my God, I'm an alcoholic. And it's like that moment where you realize, oh, that's my problem. I've got this thing, and it got away from me, and I never realized it. And I'm sure there are people that are like, oh, I can't use my back room or my other room, or, I can still get into my house. Okay, I can't get into my house anymore. I have to climb in through a window. And, there are people that won't be convinced until somebody steps in or somebody shows them and goes, no, dude, this is what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could understand, like people wanting to be collectors of things, and want to have like the ultimate collection of something, whether it be like baseball cards or toys or whatever. But it's
that's
like,
usually not what it is, though. This is, well, I might need this empty can of beans someday in case I get some more beans and want to put them in it. It's string savers and twine savers, mentality. It's like I came from. It's either that or like there's some hoarders that like they hoard things that they associate with their personality that they're not actually doing. Like I saw one lady who hoarded legal books because she wanted to be a lawyer but she wasn't practicing, and she hoarded pianos even though they were all out in the rain and ruined. But so
yeah, well,
it's fascinating.
There is hoarders that are just like generally try to hoard like everything. Every physical object, but then there is, like you said, specific hoarders that want to just hoard like books or like toys and stuff, and that could overrun their life too,
All right.
I say if you're gonna hoard, be a digital hoarder. Then it's all just on the hard drive.
Well, that's the thing, like our friend Doug, who's been on the show, he's buying digital media now. I mean, physical media now. He really doesn't want to get digital. He wants to own the actual physical copies. I'm like, well, good luck finding all that space for all those DVDs and Blu-rays and everything else, man. It's like, I've already got stuff like from my 20 plus years of collecting stuff. I don't want to get the new thing and have to find more physical space for it. It's hard enough keeping digital space sometimes. So, moving along, Ian. How many news stories? What one are we up to now?
This is 5.
Alright.
We could just end it here if you want after this one.
Well, I just want to keep the flow going. I don't want to talk forever about something where we reiterate stuff we said on previous shows. So.
Alright. Okay, this next one I'm not sure if you'll like this news article, but I thought it was important to share since it's about the 4th of July weekend, but this one is about Ohio City bans fireworks, drinks, grills, and enacts mandatory bag searches for 4th of July, or for the 4th of July. It says the city of Lakewood, Ohio will be celebrating 4th of July with mandatory bag searches and a ban on all 4th of July related fun, including fireworks, drinks, grills, pets, sports, and just about everything else.
Banning pets?
Yeah. Well, here's the full list. It says all generators, propanes, and gas.
Propane and propane accessories?
Yeah, exactly. Those are prohibited. I'm sure Hank Hill would be prohibited too.
Oh! Oh!
It says all tents and shelters are prohibited. Police will be conducting searches of bags and coolers for reasons of public safety. No alcoholic beverages are permitted at any time throughout the year. No personal fireworks. This includes novelty fireworks like sparklers. No dogs or pets of any kind will be permitted in the park on July 4th. The skate park, tennis courts, basketball courts, and kids' Cove playground will be closed at 7 p.m.
And the home of the brave.
Yeah. So you could celebrate all your freedoms there, except you won't have any, I guess.
Well, I mean, the question is, like, that had to have arisen from something. Somebody either got sued, or there's been some reason they've got curfew or something. Like, that doesn't just happen in a vacuum. Like a city just doesn't decide, no, we're gonna ban everything. We're what we did last year, let's forget all about that now. It's unless some guy decided to introduce this as just all of a sudden, like on his new platform. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we were gonna go to like Ken or I think Aurora, I guess, to see fireworks, but
pew, pew, pew. The thing about like the 4th, when we were driving back, was there was almost no traffic on the highway. So like we're driving and it's like there's like we're at 4 lanes and there's like another 4 lanes, another 4 lanes, and there's like 5 cars on the road. It's like where is everybody? And I don't know. That's why one of the reasons we decided to drive back, because it's like, well, if there's no traffic now, it would be crazy tomorrow, so we might as well just drive back now when there's nothing,
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. I mean, it's just another balancing act to try to balance safety and freedoms, I guess, but I don't know.
I don't know, man. I mean, the thing is, like, when you read reports of stuff like this, it can sound crazy and sensationalized when you're like, oh, can you believe this happened? But then you're like, oh, maybe there were crime reports, and, like, they've had, like, every 5 years there's been a house burned down on this on 4th of July night, or whatever. This didn't happen in a vacuum. We're not going to get the full story unless we actually investigate this. So, I don't know.
Right. Well, in the article that I linked there, it adds a link to the official website too. So I just thought I'd give you a link first to the main article, but Yeah, that one. You go to the Lakewood website and it gives you some. Those are etched in stone rules. Those are your commandments for that park.
Well, let's also just remember now that in a lot of places, sodomy is illegal. A man can't walk his duck on the street. You know, so...
Can't wear red on this holiday or day of the week or something, you know.
Well, I don't know, man. It's just a matter of, like, to what extent is it in? It's like, you know, is all this just out there so that way if somebody gets arrested for violating something, the cops can have a reason to throw the guy in the slammer and they don't have to fight it, you know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of, out of all of those that I listed, what would be the most reasonable out of there. I mean, I guess I could understand maybe your own fireworks, but I mean, sparklers is sort of crazy, and then maybe the alcohol. So I mean, if you get too crazy or whatever, if it's like a family park, I guess, you know, it's more family oriented. I guess, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, Ian.
I try to see both sides a little bit, but it's tough.
All right. So, did you have any more news stories for us this week that you wanted to do?
Oh, I did. I had 10, but I'll
10?
just save them. Yeah. Well, like I said, I researched. I researched 5 for last week, so I was gonna say I'll just save the 5 for next week, man. So I don't have to do any. Yeah. I don't have to.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Don't give yourself too much work, unless it's like something that the story's going to be old. You know, like guess what? Guess who's being born? It's like they're born now. Guess who's getting married? Oh, well, okay. Yeah, which. Though I hate those quote unquote news stories when they're just like, that's nothing. This is just gossip. It's like, I don't know. I feel that way when I read international news anymore. It's like, oh, this political representative from this country said something and this other person didn't like it. And it's like the news is just becoming a giant Facebook wall half the time. Like that whole thing with North Korea getting upset that Seth Rogen is making a comedy where they assassinate their leader.
Like, yeah, I heard about that.
They're like, oh, this is an act of war. It's like, really? You don't understand how America works. Like, you know better than that. We're not going to stop a movie from coming out just because you threw a hissy fit. So, and the home of the... Anyway, so I guess it's about time I talked about what I was up to with... for those of you who probably noticed, the show wasn't on last week because I was on the road.
Yeah, tell us about your road adventure trying to make it to White Castle.
Well, there's this raccoon, and he got me, and then I tried to pee next to this bush, and this guy just showed up. And then something about Guantanamo Bay, and there was the... Anyway, so
Christmas.
We were going to go to Wyoming, and because my mom wants to check out the rest of the country. She hasn't seen too many places, and she's like, I don't want to stay in Ohio when I retire. I'd like to move somewhere where it's warmer, but not like, you know, not like humid and crazy like Florida is. But she doesn't really know what the other states are like. You know, she's got an idea of what she wants it to be like. She's got to find a state that matches that. So she just wanted to visit stuff. Like, we were going to go to Colorado. Like, she ruled it out as a place to go, but she wanted to check it out. And then it was like, well, let's go to Wyoming. And then we just narrowed it down. We started driving, and we reached South Dakota, and we're like, we're not driving anymore. We're not going to Yellowstone because we need a few days of just relaxing. And, yeah. So, we reached South Dakota, and, you know, there's Mount Rushmore, there's the Crazy Horse Monument and stuff like that, and I'm going to talk about all those, and I'll share some links in the show notes. I'll link Ian to the let's see, the Mount Rushmore link I've got here. I'll share that with Ian in the chat. Well, the host chat, not the one with Sam Doug, our listener, because I could share that one too, I guess. I mean, these will all be logged on the show. I don't know.
Yeah.
we're doing so much stuff, talking back and forth and back and forth. It's like, we're doing this thing while we're recording a show, but then we're also going to do this in person. And it's like, audio show, you got to read blog posts, I don't know. But yeah, we went and saw Mount Rushmore. We went on a tour of it because we drove for like 3 days to get there, and it's like, we don't really know where the place is, and we don't know how to find a lot of stuff. Even we had the GPS thing with us. But we figured, let's go on a tour and have somebody else drive us. It'll be awesome. So,
Really?
we went, yeah, we got on a bus. Well, okay, it was a van with a couple other people, other couples, you know, like, you know, retired families and, like, people, I don't know. Like, there were a lot of husband and wife, then there was the husband and wife and the mother-in-law, and, like, you know. So we got on the van, they drove us out there, and first stop was Mount Rushmore, and you check it out, and it's really nice seeing all the different people from all over the world coming to visit it, you know, because in so many different languages you get to hear, "Shut up or we're taking you back to the car and we're not going to enjoy this. Just act normal for a little bit." You know what I mean? It's like every iteration had that. It was great. You see all you know, all social classes, all different ethnicities, people, you know, everybody deal with their kids. Go, now we gotta get up here and get the picture. Take a picture of this giant thing carved in the mountain. So I don't know. It's funny that there are people that actually think Mount Rushmore was natural. They think that it was carved by lightning or something. And it's like, no.
Like,
Go, yeah,
no
go.
way.
People, yeah. Well, either that or they're just trolling people. Because, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me, though. I mean. So.
Well,
Go ahead.
Never mind. I was gonna say, well, this Sansa mug got carved by God.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you got carved alright, Ian. Anyway, so we visited Mount Rushmore. You know, it is what it is. It's been there. And we also visited the Crazy Horse Memorial. Now, I figure you might be into this one a little bit more, Ian, because you're one of those, you know, like, you know, outsider kind of guys. And, like, you know, the Crazy Horse Memorial is, you know, to honor, you know, the American native peoples, and they're not taking any federal funding, you know, and they've been doing it since 1941, so they've been doing it since the Mount Rushmore got started, but this one's still going, because it is the largest statue in the world. You know, like, all the Mount Rushmore heads could fit inside of Crazy Horse's head. So, like, yeah, so, like, they're going to be carving that for, like, a long time. Just, yeah. It's really interesting, though. You know, they showed a little video, you know, of the, I cannot pronounce the fellow's name, but the man who started carving it, Korzak? Yeah, Korzak. And then, after he died in the 80s, his wife took over running it, and she recently passed away in May, and now 7 of their 10 kids are working on it, and this is a huge sculpture. We didn't get too close to this one because it's still in construction, so they're like, yeah, we're working with dynamite and drills and falling rocks, so, you know, yeah, it's like, you guys can go over there and look at it from a distance and look at this small miniature we're working from, and, like, they had a big setup of, like, you know, a big cultural enrichment thing where it's like, you know, the Native American Indian and, you know, the peoples of, like, all the different tribes, and, you know, artists of the, you know, local artists making things and whatnot, and it's awesome in some respects, but it's also kind of like you get it just like with the Mount Rushmore. You wonder if the people who made it realize that, like, okay, there's going to be literally, like, millions of people just funneling through this thing day after day to come and look at it, you know, and get a picture of themselves next to it and then leave, you know? Like, how enriching can the experience be for some of those people? Like, if that's the thing. You know, where do you draw the line from memorial to tourist trappy, you know? Because, like, you know, on the one hand, it's like I can really understand the really important message with this, and I think it's awesome. But on the other hand, it's like, you know, there are a lot of people that, like, they just run up to get their picture taken with it and leave, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, some people are just going to be impressed that it's this big, huge thing, because it is huge.
That's
So,
what she said. Oh, there's my zinger.
congratulations, Ian. Congratulations. But yeah, I'm rambling a little bit much. What are your thoughts on the Crazy Horse Memorial, Ian?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say I can relate to that using dynamite because that's how I fish.
Okay, you tried real hard, Ian. Just roll it back. Roll it back.
Oh, you don't fish with dynamite?
No.
No.
Not too often. Anyway. Yeah. I mean, they also had, like, the needles and some other locate. There's, like, a lot of stuff. We just drove around a lot of it, but these are the two that I got links to because, you know, you're gonna recognize it and you're gonna want to visit it. I think it was a good thing that we got on a tour guide kind of thing to show us all this stuff. Like, they were driving, you know, the guy's driving a van, driving it through the Black Hills. He's like, okay, over there's some buffalo. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, don't get up next to him. He's like, people actually take photos and, like, turn their back to him. I wouldn't do that. Like, if the tour guide is saying he wouldn't do something like that, you know. And there's, like, tunnels that are, like, 1 lane wide, so, like, you have to, like, honk your horn when you drive through it. And he's like, the buses go through it, and he's like, they have to spend like 15 minutes lining up to fold their mirrors up to get into it. And it's like, man, that's crazy. But if you look through the tunnels, you can see Mount Rushmore through the other side. It's like they positioned it when they carved it through the rock for that. And like, that's crazy.
Right. Well, now I was going to ask, how are you documenting this? Are you using a dedicated camera, or are you using a camera with the letter I in front of the device?
Well, I'm using my iPhone because because it's in my pocket. But I also gave my mom the Kodak ZI-8 because, you know, we had a flip camera, but, you know, it doesn't do stills, and it, you know, the quality is not as good as the ZI-8 on it. She wanted to take still photos, so I let her do that. And I've been going through all the photos we took, and I'm doing the, you know, curating of, like, use this, no. Like, you can kind of tell which ones are mine because, like, the horizon line is, you know, where it's supposed to be. Whereas on some of my mom's, it makes you think you're watching, you know, what was that John Travolta movie about Earth? You know, all the Dutch angles. Oh man, Battlefield Earth. Yeah, it's just like, I'm like, there's just shots like, it's like, I'm holding a camera. Woo! Which way am I holding this right? Well, I did have to tell her, like, she was going to start looking through the lens, and I was like, no, the view is on the back. You point that at the. I mean, you know, mine weren't all that great either because half of them were taken inside the car because it's like you're on a mountain going up. It's like, oh, look at this great view. Yeah, I'm not stepping outside of this little pathway. You know, so. Some of them were reflects. We got some really good shots, all things considered. But yeah, it was crazy.
It's good to have a pretty decent camera, something that, you know, like if you plan on, you know, like keeping it forever, I guess it's nice to have. But I just hate those people that are like those typical tourists that you see where they really don't take a whole lot of pictures, but they have like
wear it
a $3,000 camera around their neck like it's bling or something, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. There were people on the tour complaining that they're like, oh, I don't understand these new things where you just share it on Facebook and don't actually, like, I want to get it printed out so I can see it. That's what I'm used to. I'm like, well, yeah, you're used to old timey. You know, that's nice for you, but that's not going to stick around very long. Like, I saw a commercial where they're like, do you remember what it was like when you could just get your photos developed? Well, we got this service now where you can get a camera and we'll develop the pictures for you just like you're used to. I'm like, wow, that is, if I was that person, that would be very insulting to me. That's like, you can't understand this new advanced technology. You're too stupid. You're too old. It's like, wow, I would be offended. You know, I don't know. And it was all done in here's the black and white shot of the person bumbling with how to use a new camera and stuff. It's like, no, don't do that. I don't know, man. I I enjoyed it. I think like the iPhone nowadays has some pretty good quality pictures. It actually has a thing where it's like I saw it during one of the videos where they explained what was new in iOS, but since I haven't really sat and watched those things all the way through, they've got like a new, it's sort of HDR is what they're calling it. I'm guessing it takes 3 pictures and just levels things out, but I don't know. I don't know quite how. I kind of just triggered it by accident. I kept trying to go dark and then shine it into the light real quick to get it to show up just to see what it did. And it also had like a slow-mo function where you can slow it down to like 120 frames a second. And I tried that on a shot of a buffalo, and you just see him whapping his tail and the ripples. but well, that's the only thing you noticed it on. So
yeah. Well, a lot of those camera things, I mean, maybe one day they could get to be pretty decent quality, but like the panorama features on most cameras, I don't think it's going to be as good as like what I do with like actually having my camera set up on like a panorama head on a tripod and stuff, you know.
Well, yeah, but, you know, we're not setting up like a 3-day shoot on like the location of Mount Rushmore. We're doing like, okay, we went out today, here's a documentation of us, let's put this on Facebook and call it a day. Oh, you look so nice in front of Mount Rushmore. That's basically the equivalent of what we did. Yeah. Like, my mom and I, we were just both like, oh, it's nice to see everything. We'll never go back there again, but it was nice we've been there. Because, you know, it was a 9-hour van drive around the whole thing. It was a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, we got to see a lot, but by the end, like, oh, it's, you know, it's great, it's this nature's, you know, wonder and beauty and everything, but by, like, the second to last stop, you're like, okay, I've seen so much wonderment and splendor. I'm tired. I want to go home and eat. So, yeah. But actually, that moves us along to our next topic that I'd like to talk about the trip real quick. I'd like to talk about the food on the road. Because we stayed on the highway, we didn't really go to too many tourist trappy things, like the biggest ball of twine, you know, we could have gone to that stuff, but we figured not to. It seems a little, I don't know, when we stopped at a gift shop in the mall to buy some, you know, South Dakota-esque souvenirs, that like the guy at the mall who was selling us stuff, he's like, well, I remember in the 60s when I was wrestling gators at the reptile gardens. I'm like, okay, that's how you lead off a sentence. I don't know, but we didn't do too much of that stuff, because we stayed in Rapid City, South Dakota, which is very nice. It's very lovely. I recommend, if you want a place to stay, it's kind of city-like, but they're still huge, you know, big open, like if you're used to living in Ohio, you go out there and it's like there's buildings and hotels and stuff, but then there's just huge acres of open land, and it's weird because you're not used to seeing that in a city, you know. So,
right.
But yeah, I recommend it because it's, you know, you can fairly quickly get to see the tourist sites, but you're not like stuck in tourist trap land, because there was Keystone. We drove through there on the tour, and that was all full of gift shops and the 1880 train, and, you know, it's like, oh, great. I can't imagine living surrounded by this. It'd be like living in Disneyland. You know, like, I can't, that's not where I would want to stay, so.
Well, now, what did you do to really pass the time when you're doing all this traveling? I mean, did you catch up on, like, a lot of TV shows and stuff, or?
Believe it or not, Ian, I actually spend time conversing with my mother. As hard as it is, when we were driving, we would see the scenery change, and we'd talk about, like, so, you know, so-and-so is getting married in the fall. Oh, yeah, no, what's your thoughts on this and that? Oh, hey, you know. Like, we managed to keep, you know, we'd also check the radio to see what was on, and the further west you get, there's more country stations, but they all sounded like pop. Like, occasionally there'd be a banjo in the back, or some guy would put a little twang in his voice, but it'd all be under, like, a synth beat. So, that But yeah, when we drove back, I bought a book at the bookstore, and I was reading that for a good portion of it. But we actually talked to each other. We didn't want to like strangle each other. Like, I can't take this anymore, because I think what it was, we were both in the car going for the whole time. So like we both kind of wanted to see the end of that. We're like, we've been through this state. We've got like 2 more states to go through. We will see the end of this.
Right.
So I don't know, but I wanted to start by sharing some restaurants we stopped at on the way. Experiences, Ian, because you and I I don't know, have you lived in Ohio and Pittsburgh most of your life? Have you been outside of of this area, the Ohio Valley?
Oh, the state that I've probably been in, that I guess you can consider being there a lot, I guess, besides Ohio and Pittsburgh, is California, because I do have family out there. So
yeah, I've been to California too. It's really nice, but also extremely expensive.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, driving across the country, we got to see what is the local flavor of restaurants, because some stuff's out there that's not here yet, or or you start driving across and you start seeing the food signs and you realize every city seems to have Subways everywhere now. Like, I remember when I never heard of them and I first started eating it in college, and now it is literally everywhere. I saw more Subways than I saw McDonald's. So,
Well, actually, if you don't mind me interjecting really quick about Subway, man, Subway takes me off sometimes, man, because it's like I saw they have that new sub, that Applewood pulled pork sub that I would love to try. But if I actually go to a Subway, they're going to be like, oh, sorry, we don't have that kind of sub here,
Well, it's a matter of making sure you see what they got. Every time I go to a Subway now, they're like, oh, we got this new jalapeno bread, and you can have a mini pizza, a flat pizza. Like, don't call it something different. It's a pizza on your bread. Don't,
Yeah.
I mean, Taco Bell has a thing now where there's a quesadilla wrapped in a burrito. It's a quesarito. Like, no. Guys, what are you doing? It's not a turducken of Mexican food. It's so, I don't know, but let me start off by this restaurant that I actually let me find your window real quick so I can share this with you. We stopped off in Illinois right after we drove through Pittsburgh. I mean, not Pittsburgh. We drove through Chicago, and it's like, oh hey, we're going all the way up here. We wanted to turn off on 80 instead of 90, but it was closed, so we were like, okay, we'll drive through Chicago. And we drive through it, and it's like this huge mess of traffic just barreling through. And I've got the GPS that's telling us keep left, then a mile down the road, keep right. And I'm narrating this to my mom because she's like, what's going on? I don't know this at all. And we finally get out of there, and it's literally, there's construction. They are doing the entire other lane of the road, of this highway. So it's in this closed, narrow gap going up 45 miles an hour for a huge chunk of it. So just for like an hour or two of just 45 miles per hour. And we're sitting there like, you can't turn off of it. That's another thing we noticed on the road, is there's so much construction that is just continually being done. Like when we were driving the day we left to drive back, there was a news thing that federal funding for highways might be blocked in Congress. It's like, oh, what's going to happen? It's like, they're not going to block that. The roads are always being worked on. It's always in construction, so they're never going to. That has to be funded. It doesn't matter which political side wants to fight over it. So
right. Actually, that reminds me. Did you hear about that? They wanted to try to like make roads like a giant solar panel circuit board or something.
I've heard different stuff like that. It sounds cool, but in practicality, let's first deal with the sinkholes, and let's deal with the pipes that haven't been retrofitted since the 1930s and are exploding. Let's fix the infrastructure first before we experiment, shall we? Just make it functional. I don't know.
Well, I think it would be cool just to be able to have, because they said the way it'll be built is that you'll be able to, your power will be able to go through the road, so you wouldn't need power lines then.
Well, I mean, I've seen ideas of that, and it's a nice concept, but, they're like, and it's like a giant iPod, charge dock where you just set your thing on it. It's like, we haven't even gotten desktop counters to work that way yet. I don't, I don't know,
Yeah.
but like I was saying, we decided we were like half low on gas. We figured we'd stop in Rockford, Illinois, and that's where we came across the Machine Shed restaurant. And the Machine Shed is like, apparently there's a number of stores, of restaurants. It's kind of like Cracker Barrel, except a little bit different. They're focused on the farmer, which, you realize that when all their waitresses and whatnot are dressed in coveralls and like flannel, and like they got a little handkerchief hanging out of their back pocket, and I was like, I get that, but I'm kind of thinking they look like train conductors, but it. And my concern was, like, we'd been on the road all day, and we were just stopping to eat, like, okay, we're both kind of tired, we want to get something to eat, and I'm looking at the menu going, what do they have for me as a vegetarian? Because I'm sure places like this, I'm sure, are probably loving if people come in and go, now I can't have gluten, and I can't have milk either, so I just have water, just 5 flavors of water, if you please, guys like me who are like, I don't eat meat, I'm a vegetarian, I can eat eggs, I can, So I told them that, and they were like, well, we can make a vegetable plate for you. And I was like, okay, and how about I get this appetizer side thing where they had onion rings, and then they have their own version of mozzarella sticks, where they're basically cheese that's been deep fried into squares. And it was delicious, but it's a little weird because you're like, I don't know what to make of this. And they bring it out, and the vegetable plate is this huge thing. Like I could have very easily just eaten that, but they also have this big plate of. I was expecting like typical onion rings, but these look more like shredded onion. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen those, like fried shredded onion kind of thing? It was
Yeah.
it was a little weird. I'm just like, I've got 2 big plates in front of me. It's like, and before that they bring out some fixins, is what they call it, where they bring out coleslaw, some bread and biscuits, and some other stuff that you can eat before you eat your thing. So it's like, it's like at the Olive Garden when they bring out that salad first and then your meal, and it's like, well, I filled up on all this, and now I've got 2 huge plates of stuff. I'm like, please don't bring any more out here. I don't want to feel bad. And like, they gave us like 4 boxes to box our stuff back, because neither of us could finish the huge amount of food they gave us. So,
Yeah.
oh man. So I would recommend checking it out.
That's nice. Yeah, I would imagine like a place like Cracker Barrel would be hard for you to find decent food.
It's
It's
actually
like,
you'd think that, but really you just have to like look at the menu and know like what you're getting, like how it equates, like the vegetable thing, and like, oh, I'll just get this and that, because whenever you order a thing of coleslaw and a thing of onion rings, and a couple of those stack up, like that's a meal. So
yeah. And if all else fails, you could have a grilled cheese sandwich, I guess.
well, at some places, I mean, I've been to restaurants where I come in, I tell them I'm a vegetarian, they're like, ooh, well, I could make a. The classic is, well, we could make a chicken salad, but without the chicken, and it's like, oh boy. I hate to throw those people for a loop, because I know, they're not, they don't come with too many people coming in and going, I'd like to eat your food, but not really. And I don't know, that kind of food, it's very rich, and like I'd hate to be a person that couldn't have too much grease, or couldn't have too much of, saturated fats or fried stuff going through that. So
I want
I
my
don't
fried Mountain Dew.
they fry Coca-Cola, so
Yeah. A fried Twinkie.
the fried Ecto Cooler.
Ew.
Oh man,
Well,
fried
is there
homemade
anything?
Ecto Cooler.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Is there anything else like food wise, or did you want to continue on to other parts of your trip here?
Well, I also want. I'm just giving you a quick rundown of the different places I tried because there are a few places that I'd never heard of or I'd never tried before. Like, have you ever been to a Perkins?
I don't think so.
Because I've seen them around. I've know, when I was in college, I've seen them, but it's like, they're one of those favorite places where it's like, I see that, but I'm just going to go to the place I know. So I never went to one, and like we were driving through Minnesota, and we were kind of lost, and we were like the first place that says food and gas we're gonna go, and we saw one that said Taco Bell. All right, Taco Bell, 6 miles. Like, that's a long way to go. So we pulled off into this town, and all of a sudden there's a McDonald's and a Perkins and a couple other places. And we're like, why did the sign say that you have to go all the way to 6 miles away when there's food right here? It's like, well, they paid to get on the sign, probably. I don't know how it works,
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Well, there's always a McDonald's.
Well, yeah,
It's
but...
kind of on that.
Yeah, except I don't really eat at McDonald's,
Oh, well, yeah, I figured that.
I mean, I could get a salad there, but it's... At that point, it's like, salad? Really? Why am I here? Why can't I just go anywhere else and get a salad? And I can get a veggie...
have a salad.
I could get a veggie... I can get the veggie Big Mac... But that's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I mean, well, it's basically they take the meat off of it. So it's just like the 3 things of bread and all that sauce and stuff, and it's like, sandwiches with shredded lettuce are always kind of weird to me. So we stopped at we decided, I was talking to my mom, I said, have you ever been to Perkins? She's like, no, I don't think I have. It's like, I don't think I have either. Let's check it out. And it's pretty much like Denny's. So... they have a bakery and stuff. It was a little weird because it was like, I think it might have been Sunday or something. Yeah, I think it was Sunday, and there was just like the church crowd of people. There were a lot of people there, but we still managed to get in, order our omelets, and get out GTFO as the kids say. So,
yeah. Well, was it closer to like a Denny's or like a Bob Evans because they have a bakery in there too?
It was. Like, I would say it was trying to be like a Bob Evans, but kind of Denny's-ish. Like, they had a lot of stuff. Like, they had, just like Bob Evans was doing that strawberry thing where you could get, like, strawberry pancakes and strawberry sweet tea and strawberry everything.
Okay.
Like, they were doing a similar thing. I think it was with strawberry. I'm not sure. But, yeah, I'd recommend it to try it out, see if you like it or not. I mean, I didn't even go to Bob Evans that often until not too long ago. I started taking my dad there. The first time I took my dad there, I told him, hey, let's go to Bob Evans. He's like, oh, I don't want to go there. Let's go somewhere I know. He's like, no, let's go to here. He's like, if I knew we were going to Bob Evans, I'd have worn a suit. I'm like, at Bob Evans? They're not that kind of establishment, Dad. So, but
well,
okay, so go ahead.
I was going to say maybe he's thinking he has to dress up to pick up some of the old honeys there.
Oh... Yeah, I don't... Anyway. Yeah, that would be my dad's speed, too. Hey, sweet thing. Oh, my new name is Honey, because every time they see me, they call me Honey. Really? Huh. Mine's Darling. So, but anyway, let me talk about, at least... Oh yeah, 2 restaurants that I'd never really seen before. I'd heard of them, but I'd never seen any around. Taco John's. Ever been there?
No, been to a Papa John's.
Nope, not the same thing at all. Nope.
Oh, I know that. I'm just saying.
I know. You're just messing with me, because that's how you roll, Ian. You're a little prankster just trying to get a funny and just trying to get a zinger.
That zinga!
A zinga! But yeah, Taco John's, we were like... Because I really didn't see that many Taco Bells once we got to a certain point. Like, everyone had a whole bunch of Taco Johns, so we figured we'd try it out. And they had stuff where these little potatoes in their... Like, that was the thing, like, you get a little side dish of these little miniature potatoes, or you could get the one with potatoes in the burrito. Like, and one was just meat... One was literally named Meat and Potato. That's what I got, I just told them to leave the meat off of it. So...
No, it was potato.
Yeah, it was potato and a burrito, and then, like, you can get, like, a number of different, like, sauces, like, you can get sour cream, avocado, Guacamole. Sour cream, guacamole, spicy, mild or hot, kind of stuff. But, like, we went there, and we came in, and we were, it was a busy place, because people would come up and order, and we were just looking, like, there were a lot of people like us looking at the sign, trying to figure out, well, what can I get here, because I don't know. And we came up to the place, I was like, yeah, I'm a vegetarian, I don't know what I can get here. They're like, oh, we can do stuff without meat, just let us know what it is. I'm like, okay, I'll have the meat and potato without the meat, I guess. It was kind of like if you ever get the breakfast at Burger King with those little hash browns, you get those and then put like some Long John Silver salt on it, the really little fine salt. It's kind of like that, except some of it was in the burrito. So, I'd say, like, if I had to compare it to anything, I'd say if Taco Bell was like your Domino's, I would consider Taco John's kind of like your Little Caesars, where it just seemed like we got a whole bunch of meat and a whole bunch of refried beans and cheese and wrapped it up, and here you go. I thought it was all right.
Huh.
It was, I'd recommend trying it out. Like, my mom wasn't too impressed, because, like, I go to Taco Bell all the time, and she's like, oh, I put up Taco Bell over this. And, like, I like trying different stuff out. Like, I wish I'd tried more stuff on the menu, because when they've got a line of people, and, like, you order it, they give you your receipt, and then you go sit down, and they call you over the speaker to come pick it up. And it was this weird distorted speaker. Like, what? So, like, every time they'd call somebody up, she'd go up just to make sure. Is that ours? No, okay. Is that ours? No. So,
it's like I'm at CV radio. It's like breaker 19. We got a 769 on a 597.
8675309. So, yeah, it was confusing, but they were everywhere. Like, I figured, like, okay, we'll hit a town and they'll have a Taco Bell. No, every other town out there had a Taco John's, which, it's like, I guess this is, it was a little weird. So, also, another place, have you ever heard of Pizza Ranch? Because Taco John's and Pizza Ranch, they were, like, when we stopped at the hotel, on the card key that they will give you to your room, it would have order in at either Domino's or Pizza Ranch. So, like, they were a big chain out there, but it's like, I'd never heard of them until we went out there.
I've never heard of it, but it sounds a little corny, I guess.
It sounds corny, but here's the thing. Have you ever eaten at a CC's Pizza Buffet?
Yeah.
It's like that, except whereas CC's is trying to do the pasta thing, they're a little bit more ranchy. They're like more, they've got chicken, and they've got actually a little bit more stuff. Like, you can order meals there. Like, you can say, oh, I want to get this dinner thing that you've got, or I want to get, like,
this dinner thing.
Well, they have like a
dinner. It's like
no. It's actually, I would say they have the buffet that I think most people went for, but they also had meals. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, I guess we'll put a concentrated chicken or whatever on this, and it's it's the chicken dinner. No, they actually had stuff. Like, they had a good amount of veggies, a good amount of other stuff. So, comparably, I think they might even like rival CC's in some level, like, because really CC's only has, like, they'll have the salad bar, they'll have the pasta, and then you just put one of two sauces on it, and then they've got pizzas. This place actually had, like, like, you can get a chicken, or you can say, I'd like to have just a meal of this thing. Like, I don't, like, if you look at the menu, they got, like, mashed potatoes, green beans, corn, a lot of stuff.
Mashed potatoes.
And they have, like, potato wedges. My mom got some chicken, and she was like, I don't know about this, because we had to, try and find it after we got off basically the side of the road, and we found it, and we went there, and we ate, and she started biting into the chicken. She's like, that's delicious. we were both glad we ended up going to the place at the end of the day. They had two dessert pizzas. They had, like, the one that, they had one that CC's had, and then they had another one with, like, strawberries in it, and it was, maybe it was cherry, I don't know, but I was surprised. Especially at a place that, it was kind of like Pizza Hut, in that there were people, like, in another room having, like, a baby shower or something, and You know, there was a community of people. Like, it was a busy place. Like, you could tell that's where people went on their Saturday night or whatever. So,
So sees you got some competition. It's like, yeah, you'll close up shop if you know what's good for you. See, yeah.
well, it's just weird that this is, I saw their little flyer thing. They said they had like, like, was it like 700 restaurants or like 170? I can't remember which one it was. They had a thing where they were in a lot of states. So, I'm like, I'd like to see one of these out here. Have some competition. Try things out. Because right now, CC's is really only competing with Fazoli's out here. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. One place I'd like to see out here is a Sonic's or something, man.
The nearest Sonic is in Columbus, which it's a shame because I like Sonic, but,
I mean, it's like you see they got like a billion different things like on the commercials. It's like every commercial is like something different, you know?
Yeah. I don't know.
Crazy.
Man. Crazy.
Well, I do have to ask you, so what's it like being on this steady diet for like 2 weeks of just going to restaurants?
Well, it was really only 1 week because we left on Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because we planned on leaving on Friday, and then my mom like, oh, I gotta work that on Friday, so we'll leave Saturday. And then she was mad when she came in Thursday. Well, I don't have to work on Friday, but we're not going. Like, I'm mad at my boss or whatever. It's like, one of those deals. So, but we left on Saturday.
I'm mad at my electrician. I'm not gonna pay my electricity bill.
Well, we went.
I'm protesting.
Well, we went, but it felt longer than it was, mostly because we were driving the whole way. Because that was the thing, when you're in a car for like 6 to 12 hours, like the day we drove back on the Friday, we drove into town. We were literally in the car from like 8, and we got in around 11. So like we'd stop and go to the bathroom, stop and have lunch somewhere. But we were driving for 14 plus hours, and at that point you're like, I gotta see that. I gotta get to the house. I will see this end of the day, because we were debating it when we were going through Indianapolis, and it's like we're only that far away from home, because we'd already decided if we make it to Ohio anywhere, we're just gonna keep driving till we get home. Because when you're in the state, why stop? It's not that long a drive, So,
right.
But yeah. It wasn't like that bad. I was just eager to. When we went out there first, I really wanted to try local places. That's how we found the Machine Shed and Pizza Ranch, and I really wanted to try Taco John's and Pizza Ranch because I kept seeing them everywhere, and it's like, well, we're not going to see these when we get to a certain state, So it's like I want to at least see what the deal is, but. When you're on the road, that it's like, well, we have to get to a gas station. Okay, we have to, you have to, stop and pee and stretch your legs and stuff. So after a while, it was just like we hit Subway like about 3 times because that's just what the gas station had. And it's like, well, we're not gonna go off the route, and that's all there is. So I guess we're going to Subway. So I liked it, but I don't know. You don't want to get the same thing all the time, so I tried to change it up. Like, I would actually get a sub one day, and one breakfast I got, like, that flatbread egg white thing or whatever for the breakfast, Because if you eat the same thing for, like, 2 days or so in a row, or even 2 meals in a row, you get real sick of it real fast. So,
yeah.
The weirdest thing to me with the driving was when you're in a car for that long and then you make it home, you have a hard time in the back of your head to think, I'm actually home now. This is where I live. So, like, the night I got here, for one, I was up all night because I'd been on, like, hotel Wi-Fi all week with my iPad, and it's like, oh, I've got a decent computer with decent internet now. I'm going to do all the things. And it's like, in my head, I'm still thinking, I live here. But why does it feel like this is just some hotel and I'm going to be gone tomorrow? No, I'm staying here. This is, like, I can't leave my room a shambles because it will still be a shambles when I have to go back to it tomorrow night, It's like I have to,
Well, actually, did you want to talk a little bit about that? Is like your hotel stays? I mean, was it a pretty decent hotel? Did you have a pool or whatever? I mean...
Well, the first hotel we stayed at was a Motel 6, just because it was the first place. We stopped kind of early because my mom didn't want to burn herself out too fast. And the second one we stopped at was a Super 8, and they had, the breakfast, and they had the Wi-Fi, and the room was a little bit bigger, the beds were a little bit bigger, it had, like, HBO and a couple things on the TV, so we kind of decided, it's like, well, let's try and stay at, like, at least Super 8s, because the internet, I couldn't get it working on the Motel 6. I'm sure it was probably just me not knowing how to do things, or like that night it was just set up funky, because it was, I mean, even though I had access to Wi-Fi when we got to hotels, sometimes it was a little spottier than others. Like, the one in Rapid City was really nice, but it was weird because, like, the one we stayed at before that, in Laverne, was the name of the city, they had an HD TV that had, they had, like, HBO, they had, like, little flyers like, oh, HBO, tune in for the last season of True Blood, but then we get to this other one, and we stay at it, and it's like being renovated, and there's like a flat, an SD TV, and and they only get like 13 channels, and the reception's kind of busted on some of them, and the Wi-Fi, like, I try to watch, I fought for like an hour to get it to come in on one app, and then I went to the YouTube app, and it finally worked, but it was kind of like really low, degraded visual quality, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It varies on the road. I'm glad we decided not to do any shows on the road because, oh, that would have been a nightmare.
What were you guys thinking about going to?
What?
Where were you guys thinking about going to? You mean like concerts or something, or?
What? Like, well, we were originally going to go to Wyoming and maybe check out Yellowstone Park, but we decided, when we reached, Rapid City in South Dakota, we were like, we're just going to crash here for, a couple of days and see the Mount Rushmore and all the local stuff, and then head back. Because if we're just driving and then stopping and then driving and stopping, you don't get the ability to soak it in, Because when we went to San Diego for Comic-Con a couple years ago, the first time we went, we just had time to go to the show and then fly back. We didn't get to see the town. And then the next year, we spent like a couple of days before the convention, and then the convention, and then a few days after to decompress and then drive back, So, it was, I don't, man, it's crazy. It's some crazy stuff, Ian. Crazy stuff. So, but one other thing I wanted to mention that I saw out there, that it's not food related, but it is a thing that we don't have out here, I don't believe. Have you ever heard of Books A Million?
It sounds familiar.
Well, it's a bookstore that, like, there was a day, because we booked the tour, and they're like, oh, we're full up this day, so how about the next day? Okay, so we had a day where we were just checking out the local mall, and then we checked out, like, a local bookstore, and we found a Books A Million. And I was curious because we drove past and the sign on the store just said "BAM!" with an exclamation mark, and then books, videos, books, DVDs, games, stuff like that. So I was a little confused. I was like, well, we need to check this place out. So we went there, and it's a little weird because it's like a Barnes & Noble, except I don't know if it's because this town was busier than our local Barnes & Noble. Like, it might have been, Rapid City I think is a little bit bigger than my local town, but it was very compact. It had a lot of stuff in the walls. Like, they had the magazine section. Like, the magazines weren't just flat out. They were like, every magazine you could see the spine and a little bit on the side, and then the next magazine and a little bit on the side. So, like, it was packed of magazines. And then they'd have, like, a DVD section and like board game section, and like a computer, like there was actually a retro gaming section where you could buy like NES stuff, and like, if you want a machine to, like, this machine will play both your NES games and your SNES games, and there's like a USB controller for your NES. I'm like, whoa, my brother would go crazy about this. I took a picture of it and sent it to him, and he just texted me back, want. So it was interesting. It was there was just a lot of everything. Like, my mom usually when we go to Barnes and Noble, she'll like check out the like the Bible sections and the and those things, and those are usually like an aisle and like the inspirational aisles or whatever. This place, they literally had about 4 to 5 aisles of just Bibles and Bible study books, and like
boom, Bible, boom.
Well, I mean, it flowed. Like there was like like everything was very packed, and there was a lot of stuff in there. And like I went there one time, and when we were leaving, it's like I want to go back. Like I don't feel like I sat down. I was realizing I looked at the comic books and the graphic novels that they had and stuff, and I was thinking I didn't look at any of the art books that they had. I didn't know where their art section was. So we went back a second time that evening, and I picked up a book. So that's the one I was reading on the trip back. And yeah, it's
like you go to a bookstore and it's like you ask them, hey, do these books or magazines have QR codes so I can scan them and buy them online instead?
Well, when I went to the counter, they're like, "Hey, do you have a card here?" And I'm like, "Well, no, we're not from here. We're from Ohio." They're like, "Well, we might have a Books A Million out in Ohio." I'm like, "Well, I don't think so. We mostly have Barnes and Noble out here." They're like, "Oh yeah, they're our biggest competitor." I'm like, "Well, since Borders Books closed down," they're like, "Oh yeah, and they're going to close too." Like, all right, guy, you're a little into the whole fight there, but I like brand loyalty at least. That's a nice thing. Customer support. We're gonna win. We're gonna take them over.
Yeah, that's what it's called, Borders. I was trying to think of the other store that was similar to Barnes and Noble, but
Barnes and Noble. I'd read that they said that they reached the peak where they opened up the most stores they were going to open, and they said that now they're going to be closing stores down and just trying to manage. Like they said in like 2008 they'd opened enough, and that they weren't going to be opening more, and that they'd be trying to just stay. Because it was weird driving out there. Occasionally you see a Kmart, and it's so weird because I went through the whole thing where Kmart and Walmart were like, which one's going to be the big store? And well, guess which one? It's like you see a Kmart now. It's like I kind of want to go in, but kind of I don't know. So
competition. They're like Barnes and Nobles are our competition. It's like, well, you're not competition unless you have a coffee shop in there too.
They did have a coffee shop.
Okay. They're on their way.
I'm saying this store, like, they had a lot of stuff. Like, it wasn't. I don't think it was even as big as the Barnes Noble here, but they packed everything in. Where there's just like there was stuff and stuff and stuff. My mom, she was checking the Bible section and she got some frankincense and myrrh in a little vial that they were selling. I'm like, okay, that's some crazy stuff, man. But I picked up this book, which I figured I'd share on the show. It's The Artist Guide: Making a Living Doing What You Love. And I'm also gonna share the Amazon link for people that don't have that's the site for the book, but people that like to get their materials through Amazon. Like, it was weird when the last time I logged into Amazon, I kept getting redirected this weird way, and then they're like, "Oh, we've got this donations thing where you don't pay anything extra, but every time you buy something, we send so much to whatever charity you'd like to support. So which one would you like to support?" It's like, okay, I guess I'm going to donate to the Wounded Warriors Project because of course. it's like I don't know. You know what I'm saying, Ian?
Yeah. Forget what I was gonna say. Nah.
Yeah, that's how I roll. I just wipe your mind clean with all my thoughts. So, The Artist Guide. But I was reading this book because it's like I really need to get a solid, more business plan kind of thing going with my work, because I always really conflicted when I read books on how to do businesses, because you kind of have to interpret it for your own purposes, because you go to the business section and they're like, start a business on a shoestring budgets, or how to, do selling and bulls and bears and okay, I don't understand any of that stuff. But then it's like, you go to the artist one, it's like, how to be an artist. All right, well, you got to go to galleries, and you have to go to, fine art and sell stuff in magazines. It's like, whoa, I need to target this towards what I do. So, but I figured when I was reading this one, I was like, I think I can get more out of somebody trying to just generalize artists and try and say, okay, here's how you promote yourself, and here's how you plan for, the 5 year, the 1 year, and the overall arcing goals and stuff like that, as opposed to here's how you just start a general business, because it's like, okay, so you want to open up your bar. Wait, what? I don't, or like, oh, you want to sell stuff on eBay. It's like, well, I could kind of apply that, but I think I'm going to get more from just Artist's Guide. It's like, I'm not really a painter or a printmaker, but I do make art, and I think I can take some, I do think I can glean more from this book than from others. So, yeah.
Right. Well, my opinion on that is just like what Al Bundy said on Married with Children. There's nothing that you can't learn about life from watching Urkel.
Anyway. So, yeah.
There isn't anything.
I'm enjoying it.
You can learn it all from Urkel. But, I mean...
Well, you can learn if he did that or not. Did I do that?
Well, I mean, it's that kind of thing, though. It sounds like you probably could learn from just, like, trying to do a search on, like, those TED Talks or whatever,
Well, I mean, it's a level of, like, to what extent and how deep you want to go. Like, I'd really like to get... Like, I really wanted to have a book that would give me a map of, like, okay, here's where you need to weigh your strengths, because, I mean, I've seen a number of, like, artist journals books before, and they're like, make a SWOT analysis of, like, are you better at painting or are you better at sculpture, And, like, is it more detrimental to you or better to do this or to do that? So... I've seen some of those, but I'd really like something where, like, they would have forms, and then you could say, okay, here's an example of how you draw up a contract with somebody that wants to hire you. Here's how you draw up a contract with the gallery, and then here's how you plan your business for what you want to do in 5 years to 1 year to 10 years, and where, make things a little bit more solid has been my thing. And when I do find books that do have those examples, it's always like, okay, so you want to get so much, investment from grants, so much from, the fundamentals of the arts. It's like, oh, if you're not in New York, well, then about half of this won't apply to you. So, I don't know.
Well, Ben, I could probably sum up that whole book for you without you having to read it. The key to success is... get a job. No.
They took our jobs. Anyway.
They took our jobs.
Gerbs. Oh well.
Well, did you get to do any, like, drawing and stuff? I mean, did you gather any inspiration and other shit?
I did some inspirational stuff. I organized some, an itinerary for stuff I wanted to do, and I planned some stuff. I didn't do too much. I didn't do any drawing because I didn't really have much time to myself, where I wasn't just like, I just want to lay down and not move. I just want to watch this video of some guy playing Minecraft and watch him blow himself up. Yeah, that's what I want to watch. Don't want to do anything. I'm tired. So I think overall, though, it was a good call to, like, after all that driving, to just stay a few days, because if we tried to drive to Wyoming, oh no, oh no, Ian, my mom and I would have been at each other's throats going, you, I'm stuck in the car with you,
Well, what would have helped ease that, brother?
Some of that sweet weed.
Yep. That would have helped. But
nah, it's okay.
Since your mom probably was chilling out in that Bible section, she wouldn't be cool with that, so.
Oh. Still there, Sam Doug? Are you still viewing us? Are you still in the chat?
Huh?
Because our one viewer disappeared, and then another one came back, or maybe it's him. Because if Sam Doug is still there, I wanted to try and invite him on the show for a little bit, get him to say hi ho. But I don't know if he's still there or not. Sam, are you there, dude? Are you there?
No.
Very
It's time to start doing some jackass stunts. We need to start pulling in some ratings, Ben.
Oh, man.
You start selling out, man.
Ian, you're just gonna set your hair on fire. I mean, I know we don't have a camera on or anything, but I'll tell them what it sounds like.
Oh man, me and my family were watching that Bad Grandpa movie.
Oh. I don't know. I think I'll wait till I just see that one around. Like, I have no real interest in directly seeing it myself, but if it's on, I'll watch it, you know. Because it kind of just sounds like basically the old man bit from Jackass mixed with Little Miss Sunshine. So.
Yeah. Oh man.
Okay, so.
You like that? We need to start doing some crazy stuff like drink a Crystal Pepsi.
Oh no. Alright, so Sam wants to join in on the show, so I'm going to try and invite him. Let me see, where's the invite thing at? Screen
Let's
share.
see how this goes.
Well, I got my cat climbing all over me, because as soon as I set the keyboard in my lap, she's like, I want to sit in your lap now! And it's like, no, I'm trying to do something, I'm a serious turtle. No. Alright, where's... Okay, cameraman, control... Is it control room? How do we invite people to the show, Ian? How make do things? I don't even remember anymore. Okay, you invite people. There we go. Okay. Okay, send to Sam. Are you on my are you on my contacts, Sam Doug? Let's see. Sam's. I don't want to invite Sam's Club. I don't think they want to join the.
Sam's Club.
You just
We're professionals, I swear.
Yeah,
I swear.
totally. Do a little dance first, Ian, while we
Well, actually, speaking of cats, my parents, they didn't get a cat, but they just got a.
They got a
puppy.
raptor.
Yeah, that's what they got. They got some amber, like an amber, and extracted the DNA from the mosquito or whatever, and
You bred
made
raptor?
Jurassic Park. Made a raptor down, so.
Let's see.
But they got a little lab puppy, so it's pretty cute.
Oh,
Its name is Zoe.
Kardashian. Okay.
Yeah, that's totally what we named it after. Or they named it. Actually, it's my little brother's dog. There was people that had like a dog in it. It had like a whole litter of dogs and of puppies, and they were selling them, but they were nice and they gave it to my little brother for free. So.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Cat, will you stop climbing over me? She's like, you're doing something, and I want to interrupt.
Well, imagine how your cat is right now. That's how it is all the time, because it's just like constantly at the babysit the puppy, you know.
Well,
make sure it's not like diarrhea everywhere, you know.
Well, it's just like okay. Internet, I hate you. It's just when she wants attention, she's all over you. But then when you go, okay, what do you want? That's when she walks away. I don't know. Let me just try and get to do. I'm just trying to add old Sam Doug to the show. Trying to get the thing working. Tell us a story, Ian, while I'm busy.
Okay, well, This one time at band camp.
Yes, go on. I've been to band camp before. I know all about it.
Actually, Howard Stern did have Jason Biggs on. I was listening to it the other day. He definitely sounds a little bit different now that he's gotten older, man.
Oh, yeah.
I think isn't he like more into politics and stuff now or something?
I don't know. When celebrities get older, like, like Frankie Muniz, from Malcolm in the Middle, now he's a race car driver. I don't know. Hello? Hello? Sam?
Huh. I can see the picture of a cat on there.
But does he have a microphone? And then, does he have the beats?
Beats.
By Dre?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, by Apple.
Hello.
Hey, Sam Doug.
Can you hear me?
A little bit.
Oh, alright, that's good.
Hi-yo, Kermit Frog here.
Hey there, Kermit Frog here. How y'all doing out there in podcast land? This is a
Yay!
yeah. Alright, let's cut the shit right now. Oh shoot, can I swear? I forgot. I should have asked first.
Great, now the school children are gonna
There
cry.
goes,
Look
there
what you
goes all
did.
the sponsors.
Whee!
God damn it.
I was.
You
I
gotta
was.
keep this.
What?
World
What?
language down,
World
man.
Weary Kermit the Frog is actually one of my shticks.
What? On the drive back, we stayed at a hotel and we were watching this show about this guy who he was in a horrible marriage, and he made a comic book about how he was taking over this planet and saving the day, and then they made it into a puppet show, but they totally changed it and it was not his vision anymore. He was throwing the puppets into the shredder. And like they had a camera on it and the kids were watching it crying, no!
They've corrupted my vision.
He's like, this one's going in the shredder, no! And like the one kid that liked to burn and eat things was going, yeah. So
my fanfic came true. Ah!
oh man alive. The little kid screaming, no! Anyway, you're a bad man. Bad man. Anyway. So how are things going with you, Sam Doug? You had yourself a nice...
Things are going alright.
You have a nice 4th of July. You didn't
Very
blow
much.
off a hand or anything, did you?
No. Actually, I went to Michigan.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean...
So I was listening to your story and everything about traveling. I was mostly I was on vacation in Michigan.
which part? Were you in Detroit?
The non-Detroit part.
Oh, okay, so you weren't in, like, like Gangland and No Man's Land. It's not like that scene in Beyond Thunderdome.
Yeah, no, there was no two-man enter, one-man leaves. No, it was, we went to,
Outlander, we have your woman.
upstate lower Michigan, I guess. I don't know. It's about middle there, and then I went up to the Upper Peninsula for a while. Checked out there. It's pretty flat. Cool bridge.
I've been to Michigan once for Warped Tour because there were acts out there that they don't come to Ohio, so we just figured I saw Joan Jett, and she's a tiny woman. Like, don't get me wrong, I love her, but I was like, wow, she is tiny. Like, she comes off as like, I've got this attitude, and I'm gonna kick your ass. But then you see her, and she's like 5 foot, maybe. And, like, wow.
Right.
So,
After that, we went down to Indiana and went to Elkhart, and after that, we came home.
Wow.
It wasn't a bad trip at all. It was actually quite a lot of fun.
Were you driving the whole time, like through the states, or?
Yeah, we drove, and my wife would take over for for an hour here and there. But I'm used to like long drives, so it was a pretty safe trip.
That's good.
Except for the part when Western Pennsylvania tried to kill us, but that is a story for another day.
Oh, I see. You gotta say that for the good podcast you're on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for the good podcast. Yeah. Just to continue story, insert 5 coins.
All right.
Any coins, dollar coins, $5 coins.
A Sacagawea dollar that you can exchange at the bank for a real dollar.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a real dollar.
Well, yeah, but nobody knows what it is, and I was going through the tolls, and my mom, like, she was driving and then handing the money over, and I was the one trying to ration it out, and she had like all this change, and it's like, find a quarter, and I'm like, this thing, and like, oh, is that a Sacagawea dollar? What's that doing in here?
I know. People always hoard them. That's a problem. There's down here New Jersey Transit, because I'm in upstate. I'm in the Catskills, and New Jersey Transit comes through there. That's how I get down to the city when I go to visit.
In the city.
And in the city, and the parking in the train station lot, the parking station. You go there, get your tag there, so they don't, tow your car away or whatever. Put up on cinder blocks or whatever they do in Monticello these days. What they end up doing is they give you your change in Sacagawea.
Yeah,
Dollar coins.
I think I read about that where they're like, look, we've got all this, but nobody's taking it. We will give you your change in this, and you will accept it.
We're gonna drown out the problem.
Well, there was a guy that, like, he to stick it to the man when he had to give so much money to the bank, he got it all in $2 bills, and they arrested him because people they like, it's legal currency. It's just people don't know that they still make $2 bills. So like, I guess they thought he was counterfeiting, and like they called the cops on him. And he's like, it's American tender. It's legal. It's fresh from the bank.
Yeah, I think I heard the same story. It's just people don't realize that that's legal tender in the United States. $2 coins, $1 coins, and there's still Susan B. Anthony's out there floating around.
Yeah.
And what it ends up in the desk drawer of some grandpa, and they give it to their kid for Halloween or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what people do.
That just makes me think of that political cartoon where it was the Susan B. Anthony dollar that was worth 75 cents.
That sucks.
No, it was a joke because the whole the whole women making rest of the dollar. I'm like, that's a thinking joke.
Goes on the, yeah, that's bullshit.
I mean, like that's not like the one where they just draw some fat cat and write oil tycoon on it and call it a day. Like that one, you have to sit and go, oh, okay, I get that one.
Right.
All right.
Well, thing in here. I'm trying. Yeah. So anyway, that was my trip, and I heard about your trip. Crazy Horse sounds like a good time. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see Crazy Horse up in person, and not get blown up.
Yeah, they had some, like, they had the Air Force was out there because they were doing some recruiting, and they had the Air Force band out there. I think what it was is that they have this team of Native American dancers, and the one guy, his dad passed away, and his dad was, I think, an officer in the Air Force or something. So they had him out there. Like, it was a little weird, because, like, he was like, hey, guys, you may not be Indians, but it's like, we're all native, because we're all humans, we're all getting along, and, like, he's dressed in the full, traditional garb, so he's got all these feathers and stuff that jingles and stuff, and, like, my dad's part black. My dad's grandpa came off a Blackfoot reservation, but I look like I'm a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white guy, white Irishman,
Right.
So I'm just standing there listening. He's like, "Hey, we're all, He's like, "You may not say you're native, but he's like," and then somebody's phone would ring. He's like, "Hello, 500 pizzas." He's like, "Trust me, I'm a proud Native American." He's like, "But I'm also I'm American." He's like, "If you put a Big Mac in front of me," he's like, "I wouldn't want it. I want to take a bite." He's like,
Native American dancers. What was one of their names? Pocahontas.
This was not Custer's last stand up and show 'em. This was not one of those kind of shows. These were the one dude. He was talking about his grandson, and then he was talking about his dad. I'm like, you don't look that old, man. I don't know. Some people, like, they reach an age where they just stop aging until they get like 105. You know what I mean? Not me. I would. I don't know.
Well, so Sam.
Yes.
Is Doug, is that your last name?
Doug?
Right.
For all intents and purposes, yeah, that's the name I use online.
Douglas.
Well, because I was going to say that's
very expensive.
That'd be like having the name Tom Dave.
Kinda, sorta. I mean, it does have a nice ring to it, and it's essentially my pen name. It's a play on my real name. Because if I tell you my real name, I have to grant you 3 wishes, and then it's going to get really, really irritating. I call myself. I was going to swear there, but I didn't.
Are you, like, part of Anonymous or something? way
No,
you
stop,
keep
stop, no.
This call is being monitored. I used to be in the gang, and yeah, I was
Well,
some stuff, man.
They say you're part of Anonymous just by wanting to be. So,
We're Herzog there.
Yeah, well,
Tell me about the cave.
which
Oh.
cave?
Werner Herzog. What's his freaking name there? The guy who's got the deep voice and talks like this very often.
Want to play a game?
No, not the Saw dude. Saw dude is
You mean like the grizzly dude who
not
thought
the grizzly dude. No. He does documentaries. You know, like they had the cave paintings and stuff in France, and he did a documentary, and he's like, he's just got like a deep droning voice. He's talking and talking, and we're gonna have to look up links now. Anyway, moving on. So that's my Samuel Douglas. That's the name I use for cartooning. So, which would be great if I actually had a cartoon.
Well, go ahead and get one. Now,
I'm working on it.
I have to go by a pen name because I like my name. Unfortunately, it is more common than dirt. I googled my name one time, and literally like the whole page, 12 different artists trying to make it a name for themselves with that name. It's like, well, can't use that.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, you're on a $100 bill, so I mean.
Well, if you Google my name, it auto-completes with badass. Because there's because there's an author named Ben Thompson who wrote a book about badasses in history. Oh, and one of them happened to be Ben Thompson from the Wild West, who used to hang out with, like, Hickok and everything, and yeah, I'm just like, well, I guess I'm down with that. If you Google my name, I want people to think I'm a badass. I just don't want them to confuse me with that dude. So
Ben Badass.
yeah, badass. Because I mean, if Google's gonna auto-complete your name, I guess it's better that than some other things.
You're so badass that if it comes down to it, you'll kick somebody with your club foot when you're humbling around.
Hobbling around, Ian?
Yeah, hobbling around.
Yeah. Fun times. I don't know.
It's this is my home turf, this basement here.
I like to take pictures of weird things with my cell phone camera, and when I was in South Dakota, we stopped at the mall, and there was a store just full of stuff. Like, there's like 50s stuff and John Wayne stuff, and one thing, they had this fleece throw blanket with a picture of Chuck Norris on it, and it said, "I don't compromise with terrorists. I blow them away."
That's fairly, yeah.
I took a photo of it just because. Why is this on a throw blanket? Who's gonna Hey, Grandma, I know you get cold sometimes, so here's a fleece throw with Chuck Norris on it. He's holding a rocket launcher. It's from Delta Force. I'm like, why does this exist?
That might have been a keeper. You should have grabbed that, or at least got a photo of it.
Well, I did grab a photo of it. I'll be posting it later. But there was also they had a statue of John Wayne on a statue of a horse.
Okay.
So I took a photo. My mom was like, "Oh, it's John Wayne. Get a photo of it." Like, all right. I got the price tag in the photo because I'm not buying it. I'll take a photo of it and then I'm gone. It's kind of like the organ store in the mall. Have you ever seen those?
Oh, jeez, that's a little bit here and there.
Yeah, like you gotta buy my organ. Get out! Bring people that will. I feel so bad for that guy. Wait, you want to touch it? You want to buy it? No, turn around then. This whole organ's just all for display. Everything here, just display. Oh man. So
That's a good time.
So Ian, did you have anything you wanted to add, or do you think we should go into trivia?
Well, I wanted to talk about that paint stuff, but I could save that for next week.
Oh yeah. We have been going for like 2 hours already.
Oh, that's fine. I'm not sure. I would schedule it for the same time next week, but I'm having my friend Mike come over again. We're gonna hang out this weekend, so I mean, if you want, maybe we could do another irregularly scheduled show again on the weekend.
Well, that sounds cool, man. You know, then you can like have an actual dedicated show to talk about your spray painting, because like sounds cool, man. It's just I don't know, man. I think we should really dedicate an episode to that, so it's not lost in the middle of everyone saying hi to Sam Doug. Which everyone say hi to Sam Doug.
Hi, everybody. Hello. I found a cup of coffee.
Are you doing? I thought was he doing Pee Wee Herman? Then he turned into Homestar.
So yeah, I was switching midstream. I do that sometimes because I'm not really funny.
Don't worry, neither are we.
Oh, good.
Well,
Misery bros.
I just feel like Krusty the Clown when he comes in and he doesn't have to be on for that party, so he takes everything off and he lets the monkey go in the car. It's like, oh, we could have seen a monkey.
That's right. Yeah, as soon as the microphone is off, you immediately light up a cigarette and drop the pants. It's like, Jesus Christ.
I'll tell you one thing, this ain't makeup.
Get the car.
Alright, Krusty, would you like to say grace? No, he's talking the funny talk. No, that's Hebrew.
He's Jewish. Thank you, Lisa.
I remember they were talking to the voices of the Simpsons, and they had he's like, Krusty, they did an interview with Krusty the Clown. He's like, why'd you go into comedy? It's like, I remember I was a young boy at the synagogue, and the singer would do the hourly prayer. You know, he did this thing, and everyone just was laughing at the accent. He's like, he got so many girls.
What's up, fun? I'm being interviewed for a podcast right now. I'm on the air right now at a podcast. I told him about Michigan. I didn't tell him about the bodies, though.
We know there's Michigan. It's there. I've seen
It's
it.
Michigan. Well, then it's okay to talk about the bodies, then.
As long as they're in your trunk and not mine. So.
Well, the trunk is now under Lake Michigan, but that's another story for another time.
You don't have Casey Kasem's body, do you?
No, that's not funny.
Too soon, Ian.
That's Shaggy and Cliff Jumper.
Well,
And
is it too soon to nickname him Casey Casket?
Yes.
yes,
That was... Ian, go back to your room now. No dinner for you. Like Zoe Scoop. Well, you know who was playing Shaggy in the latest cartoon? Matthew Lillard. Because he played him in the movie, and they're like, hey, he nails it. He gets it. Like Zoe Scoop.
Like Scoop, like Groovy.
Well,
Bro. Yeah, Frank Welker's doing Scooby now, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's one of those things.
Well, I like Welker, but some voices like natural
Welker?
talking. Yeah, like he can do monkey sound effects and all kinds of crazy stuff, but like just dialogue voices sometimes like they've got him doing Garfield on that CG Garfield show, and he's doing a Lorenzo music impersonation, that's fine. It's just like I don't know, his voice isn't deep enough to really do a good Lorenzo voice.
Yeah. Well, his voice has changed over the years.
Yeah, well, anybody who's been doing stuff for like 40 years.
As the one person in your fan base might not know this. It's the only person in the world, but Frank Welker was the voice of Megatron.
Well, yeah. He was also Freddy on Scooby-Doo. So,
Shit.
I remember my brother and I, when we were teenagers, we were like, who is the voice of Freddy on Scooby-Doo? Yeah, that guy, he only does that voice, and it's like, he must have no career, and then you read the credits, like, oh, it's Frank Welker. Never mind.
Right, yeah.
He is everything. Right. It's like, if you hear a monkey on a show, that's him.
That's him. Animal sound, it's like a specialty, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to go and see how many people, like, Peter Cullen did a lot of voices. Like, he was actually the voice of Mario. Mm-hmm. In the Super Saturdays, the Saturday Supercade or something like that. Was the name of the show?
I don't know.
It had Donkey Kong, Cubert, Pac-Man.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was... I kind of remember that. I didn't watch too much. I just mostly watched the Super Show with that one wrestler guy. Do the Mario!
That was after that. That was the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
See, some voices, like, some actors really define a role. Like, I cannot watch a Sonic cartoon and not hear Steve Urkel's voice come out of it. It's just...
White, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta go fast.
Like, if I see any Batman that's not, Kevin, was it Conroy? Conley? I don't know.
Kevin Conroy is Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman in the animated universe.
Yeah, because
a lot of video games now.
I tried watching that young teen the Young Justice show, and I kept getting thrown off that some of the voices were the same from Justice League Unlimited, and some weren't. And I was like, why? What's going on? You're confusing me, cartoons. You're confusing me.
Cartoon. Not even I know.
No.
Oh my god.
All right, so trivia time, Ian.
Let's do this.
Well, okay, so you wanted to be a guest on the trivia here? Damn.
Well, as long as I'm here, sure.
Okay, all right, but if you beat me, you're gonna have to
down.
have a monkey knife fight. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. But between you and me, me and Ian.
Well, whoever beats my record, because I am,
Okay.
so.
Well, I don't know anything, so we can do this. I am good at knife fighting though.
Well, I said monkey knife fight. I get a monkey, you get a monkey, and then one
Oh.
of them ain't pretty no more.
Wow.
That way you feel
man.
bad for the monkey.
Yeah, jeez, man, they're endangered. Whereas we've got like 6 billion humans.
Smithers, this monkey's gonna need most of your skin.
Actually, I think we're pretty much up to like 7 billion.
So probably
Closer to
7 billion.
5
So
billion.
well, you're just helping my point along.
I told you to shave those sideburns. That was 1992. Think about that for a minute. What year was it that Lisa dreamed she was going to be the president in? I bet you we've passed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like
I
think
think
we
it was like
yeah.
2012 or something.
2010 I think was the one for the future where she get like engaged to Millhouse or something or no.
Nope.
No, it was a different
the president one. It's like, how come my vision had to have a vision of Homer looking for Lincoln's gold? Well, maybe the first vision thought that the main story wasn't good enough to carry a whole vision by itself.
Actually,
selective
since
vision.
speaking of the future and being grown up and stuff, I was gonna say I actually did.
Are you getting
It's-
hair down there, Ian? Do we have to talk to you about
Are
this?
you telling me you're one of the grups?
No.
Ban him!
Uh,
Ban him
No,
from the
co-
village. Sorry.
no, this might interest Ben a little bit more, if at all. I don't know, but I actually did decide to watch that first episode of that Girl Meets World show.
Oh, okay, I've yet to watch it because I hear it's really for girls that are tweens.
Yeah, well, because I was a big fan of Boy Meets World, so I mean,
You were a
I
fan of
figured I'd
Topanga.
give it a try.
Let's be honest here.
Yeah, so let's not.
All of us guys that watched it when we were growing up, it's because Topanga was a hot chick. That's
Yeah.
why a lot
Well,
of
she-
people are still watching it.
Send to
Yeah.
the folder.
well, she's still pretty hot. I mean, wasn't she like in?
She was in Maxim not too
Maximum
long
or
ago, yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean,
but
yeah, this is with today's age. You need more than a hot chick to make a show. Like when you're 12 or 13 and that's all you can tune into, that's different.
Now we demand quality here.
It's like now that I can access 1,000 boobs from my phone, I'm going to need more.
Yep.
Because we talked about this before. Like you used to watch USA Up all night. It's like
I'll tell you a story, and this is a story.
All
that's
about
like,
how.
This is like an older Groucho Marx story, which just I ramble on for like about an hour. So go for a bathroom break. They say
All
that.
right, I'm peeing right now.
Grab the jar. They say that the invention of alcohol, from a surplus of grain and everything, they learned that rotten grain or starting to rot grain ferments and makes alcohol and tastes good and makes you healthier and everything. That was kind of like the basis of where civilization started. Like the first bartenders were women. They settled down, and they drew people to. And they started trade, and that's how the first villages started. They say when they added iodine to salt, it helped break down goiters and stuff. It was something that the body needed, and just the very act of mass distribution of iodine eliminated a lot of that goiter conditions and everything, and pretty much raised the developed world's like IQ up like a double-digit point, like a significant amount. just because they didn't have that deficiency anymore. Now we have the ability to get pornography at any moment, any day. We can just whip out the cell phone, whatever, get boobs. What do you think it's going to take humanity?
Eh.
I don't know. Well, one thing I was going to say is that we don't have yet, if you want to step up the level, is we still don't have that 4K porn yet.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Like 4D porn or
4K porn.
4K porn?
Just like with the
Yes.
4K TVs that are higher than HD. So,
Oh, we're talking like we can like just curl up in a pour and go to sleep. Like
Yeah.
that kind of definition? Alright.
Yeah.
like, I can count the pores on her face.
Yeah.
Google
Well,
They got to
Glass.
step up their makeup.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we
this
get
isn't the
better
porn
quality.
podcast. Let's move on to trivia.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Okay, well, let's start
The theme
intro
song.
here.
Where's our theme song here? Ah, yeah. Oh, alright. Ah, ah. Mm, ah. Mm, ah. Mm, ah, 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 ah. Mm.
Trivia with Ian.
Trivia with Ian.
Yes.
Da, da, da. Trivia with Ian.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now, I
It's
say
not
since
up to me.
I
but-
say since
yeah, I was gonna say
Sam Doug
if he wants
should
to
get
do
to
it.
pick because he's the guest, and we've narrowed down the topics. So what would you like to do trivia on? Animation, comics, games, movies, or technology?
Why don't we start with games? I'm actually kind of more of a never had the money for a Sega. I had a Nintendo growing up. Not even. I actually had to go to a yard sale and get it. I had an
Oh.
Intellivision. You don't even know what that is.
Well, did you have a ColecoVision?
Well, yeah, they're compatible.
Yeah, though they sold a thing where you could plug the Intellivision games
Right,
into the
right.
ColecoVision, which
Right.
that's just weird.
By 17 bomb.
Ah, yes, someone else who watches the Angry Video Game Nerd.
No, I mean I actually played B-17 Bomber.
Excite
was my-
Bike.
That was my jam, man.
I heard the Smurfs game where you just walk to the right, nothing bad happens. Such a peaceful game.
They did play it on that. Or E.T., where you can't do anything. That's Atari, though.
Yeah.
So, all right, yeah, I'm game for games here. Like I'm just saying, if you like throw out something about the X blocks or something, I have no idea.
Okay, well, I'm doing a screen share right now. Ben,
I'm also I'm triggered by Tamagotchis, so
Why did you have one that died and you had to bury it out back? It was really sad, like Old Yeller.
sometimes they come back.
I had a Yoda Tamagotchi, so that was
What?
fun. You know, Tamagotchis have not only made a comeback, but so has Furby with Furby 2.0.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Furby
it's
on
creepy.
top.
It's got the digital eyes. Hello, I'm a Furby. I'm gonna scare you.
I'm going to kill you in your sleep.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Howie,
Let's do
Howie
an
Mandel.
autopsy.
What are you doing? All right. All right.
Well-
So the way we do trivia is we rotate who reads one. So Ian reads one, I'll read one, and then you read one.
Okay, can I just make up my own?
No.
No.
Super anti-spyware, Ian. Oh well. Might want to update
Alright.
that.
Well, where do I have to like log onto a site or something or?
No. Just watch the screen share. Just,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Ian, you go first.
Okay, do you want me to read all first? Well, who am I reading this to? You first, Ben?
I suppose.
Well, instead of reading it, do you want to instead, let's just pick somebody who's going to be
No.
the narrator. Like, do you want me to just read these and we'll just rotate who goes
No.
first?
Ah.
Unless, do you want to read all these, Ben? It's up to
Oh,
you.
I do have the radio announcer guy voice.
Yeah, you read these.
Selection view. There's gotta be.
I'll go. I'll let Sam go first. So Ben, you read it, and then Sam, you can go first.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What does Donkey Kong have to do with donkeys?
I think it was something to do with the donkey. He was trying to go for idiot, something like that, like Dumb Kong.
He heard that he didn't speak very good English, and he said that calling someone a donkey was calling them stupid.
An ass, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so that
So
was
it
kind
has
of
it has basically nothing to do with donkeys.
right.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say
It's
the same
like,
thing.
I believe.
That's
It's like, I don't believe either you guys. It's all about donkeys. King Donkey.
well,
Donkey!
Yeah, he was trying. What he was trying to do is he was trying to impress that Donkey Kong wasn't too bright.
right.
But you can't really
And-
put Ass Kong on there without,
Well,
That's
I remember when they made Pac-Man, they were originally going to call him Puck-Man, but they were afraid that people would scratch up the P to make it a curse word.
Yeah, they can really easily make it a curse word.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now everyone's like,
Well-
what the hell's a pack?
Waka waka waka
Yeah.
waka.
All right.
All right. So what's
I
the
was gonna
answer? What?
Well, first I was going to explain to
guys.
Sam, if he didn't already get this, the reason that we alternate who goes first is because we all answered the question, but if me, I'm just going to go along with what you guys said, so that's just to make it fair, because if everybody's just going along with what the
What if we're all
person
wrong
says,
then?
Well, then
then
we
we-
don't get any points. If we're right, then
Okay.
we all get a point.
But the first
Oh,
guy
okay.
usually tries to be right, and usually,
Yeah.
and if one guy knows
pressure's
it,
on
but they're
him.
not the first one, because if I sit and go, well, I know for a fact what it is, then everyone's gonna go, well, I'm just gonna copy him.
Yeah.
All right. So what does Donkey Kong have to do with donkeys, Ian?
Nothing other than the Japanese word for donkey can also mean crazy or stupid. So,
So I'm gonna say
I
we
get-
all got that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
and I keep score, so we all got one on that one.
Right.
And we do 20, so is that what you want to go to, Ben?
Well, how about you, Sam Doug? You cool with 20?
I'm cool with whatever. Yeah.
All right. Because I don't want to have you be like, oh, I gotta go, man. I can only do 5.
No, I'm here for the next couple of weeks because I'm trying to launch my comic again.
Our show can't be
So,
a couple weeks long. We're
I
gonna...
have my own P jar, and I'm here with Manga Studio, and
Oh, so you got like the Kleenex boxes on your feet and everything. You're gone full Howard Hughes. All right.
we've surpassed that. I've got a couple of Mormons in the back right now going through my trash.
Oh, so you've got like the sandbox made up in your house,
Yep.
and you're okay.
Yep.
Full Brian Johnson. That's a good man. Good man.
Mm-hmm.
Until just stay away from Marilyn Man. I mean
It's all
Charles
fun
Manson.
and games until someone loses an eye, and then it's just fun.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be like that guy that died playing video games or whatever? That one Asian guy.
Yeah.
I believe it was a Korean guy. Was he playing? What's that one game where you play a bunch of like alien bugs and stuff? Like they got Zergs and stuff. I cannot remember the name of it.
What, StarCraft?
Maybe StarCraft, like StarCraft 2 or one of them. I don't know. It's like insane. You can like go to school for StarCraft in like Korea. So
Well, What the hell?
All right.
This is the worst
Okay,
Christmas.
let's.
all right. What was
Sorry.
Nintendo's first arcade game? Donkey
Yeah,
Kong,
You want to answer that, Ben?
Mario Brothers, Popeye, Final Fantasy, or Radar Scope?
What are you gonna say, Ben?
First arcade game? That's a tough one. Because originally Donkey Kong was supposed to be a Popeye game,
Right.
but they lost the license to it, and then later Mario, the second Mario game, was an adaptation of something else. But I'm gonna say Donkey Kong, although Radar Scope is suspicious. Like, why would that be in there? What is that? Never heard of that. I bet you that's probably the answer.
I think
know
that's one of the very first arcade games, actually.
Well, I know about Tennis for Two and that other one they did. I don't know. So I'm gonna go with Donkey Kong. What do you guys say?
I'm going to concur.
I say good day, sir. Yes. Rubber.
Did I go with the crowd or should I be alone? Or what
You
should
walk
I
a lonely
do?
road, Ian.
I do.
Yeah,
I
Donkey
think I'm
Kong's
gonna
reason.
walk that road and I'm gonna go
Right.
with that radar scope.
Oh, he's going to go for it. He's going for it, guys. Is he going to go for the red herring? Let's find out. What's the answer, Ian?
Yeah.
What? What?
Yeah.
All right, what's radar scope?
Well, that's where Wikipedia is your friend. Well, remember, we had, on one of the questions, it was who's the grandfather of computing, and it turned out to be a guy who thought up the idea for computers before they had them. I'm like, come on, that shouldn't count. And then there was, like, bitmap caching. It's like, I don't even know what that is. Okay, radar scope. What is it, Ian?
This is radar scope is an early cabinet arcade game developed and published by Nintendo at December 1970.
Wow. So Ian actually got one up on us, guys. So
there's the wiki. Wicca.
Well, not bad.
Well, that's a trivia that actually got us. Being an outsider actually got you there, Ian. So good for you. Now we're gonna have to just got crash and burn. Now. I'm just gonna have to eviscerate your corpse. That's all. Okay. What video game vixen supposedly stripped down to her birthday suit if players entered the correct button code? Princess Peach, Blood Rain, or Lara Croft?
I think Lara Croft is that one. Huh?
Well, it was supposed to be me that goes first, but I was gonna.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm an asshole.
Go with that. No, it's okay, man.
My instincts say be Orchard anyway, so.
Well, it was the pressure was on me anyway, so I mean, I was.
I'm sorry.
Gonna go. Well, why would you be sorry? I mean,
I'm the worst person.
It takes pressure off of me.
I think you're both horrible people. What am I doing here? Oh wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Lara Croft.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was that one where there was that whole rumor of it. Although I think there was stuff about people saying Samus was when they found out that she was a girl in Metroid. They're like, oh, that's that swimsuit, and I bet you there's a code. I don't know, but I'm going to say Lara Croft because I remember it. That was one of those urban legends, just like the whole Marilyn Manson with the one rib thing, and it's like everybody gets those around the schoolyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Gerbils.
Yeah.
If I was gonna say if it was Princess Peach, I'd be like, of course, it's something that nobody saw coming.
Okay, just to recap, Ben has 2, I have 3, and M has 2.
Yes, you're a better person than we are, and we understand.
Mm-hmm.
Which direction does the player travel in the game? Zaxxon? Down to the bottom of the screen.
Wait, are we right?
Up. Huh? Yeah, it was Lara Croft.
Okay.
Which direction does the We quit scrolling the screen, I'm trying to read.
Sorry.
Damn it! Okay. Turning into Beavis here. Okay. I'm coming. Okay. Which direction does the player travel in the game Zaxxon? Down to the bottom of the screen, diagonally, up and to the right. Up to the top of the screen, into the screen, diagonally, up and to the left.
Back and drive through.
He's sounded like Leprechaun.
Oh, I have no idea. I never played Zaxxon, so. I'm the worst person ever.
Well, just take a guess. And remember, your first guess is usually the right one.
I'm going to say into the screen. Sounds like one of those ones where it was like simulated 3D, all line art, line shapes and shit.
Okay. How about you, Ian?
I don't know, man. I'll just.
Okay,
it's because it's like up and to the right and up and to the left.
Back and to the left. Back and to the left. Back and to the left. Magic bullet. I'm gonna say down to the bottom of the screen. So, because I'm gonna think it's one of those games where you're constantly falling down. Just cause. No reason. I just want to be different. I'm a special snowflake.
Yeah.
Which one did you go with? Oh, you guys.
What was it, right?
We're gonna find out. Click it, Ian. Which one is it? Up and to the right?
Yeah.
Well,
None of us got it right.
I like when it's just a total crapshoot and we're like, I have no idea what this is, so...
Cast all in the wind, ye not guilty.
In Kid Icarus, what vegetable do you risk being turned into?
Eggplant.
Pumpkin, carrot, potato,
Oh, God, I'm
onion,
sorry.
eggplant, celery, cucumber, tomato.
I just want to answer them.
Well, gee, thanks.
I ruined everybody's fun.
What
Do you risk being turned into... I think I've seen gameplay of this, so I'm going to say eggplant. I never played it as a kid, so...
Eggplant.
Eggplant.
I am the Eggman. You are the Eggman.
We are the eggplant. Goo goo tube.
I'm the
See?
walrus.
What the heck? I think I'll be a loner again. I'll go with tomato.
No, okay.
He doesn't need that extra point. That's how confident he is.
You'll be sorry.
You're probably right, but...
What's the answer? Guess the answer, Ian.
I'm going with tomato.
Okay.
Okay, what is it? Eggplant. So we're all tied.
Alright. We're
Yeah.
back. We're back in the game.
Alright. We're back in the game, guys. Get your big boy pants on.
Remember
Alright.
all your training.
Okay. What characters are in the Nintendo series Fire Emblem? Isaac and Garrett, Mario and Luigi, Link and Zelda, Martha and Roy, Andy and Sammy.
You guys see the question again.
What characters are in the Nintendo series Fire Emblem?
Oh, I think it's Martha and Roy.
I never played Fire Emblem.
Well, I played Brawl.
Gotta guess this one. This is the pressure.
Yeah, it's Martha and Roy.
I'm gonna go with Martha and Roy just because I'm a conformist, but I will win. I will defeat you from the inside out.
Yeah.
I believe it was my turn, so...
No, it was my turn actually, but I stole everybody else's turn, so I guess you could say it's your turn.
What, you want to fight about it?
Let's do it right here. Come on, I ain't afraid.
Which one did you say, Ian?
Martha and Roy,
Okay.
yeah.
I've never played Fire Emblem. Is it any good?
I've never played it. Good, Sam? It,
Sam?
What?
Is it any good? We've never played Fire Emblem.
Oh, I haven't played it either. I told you that straight up they're in Brawl. It's in Super Smash Brawl.
Oh, I've never played a Smash Brothers game either.
Yeah. So they tell you they're from Fire Emblem, so
Okay.
that actually
What
relaunched the series, the franchise here in America.
What object do you need to get to the secret room in Atari's adventure? The magnet, the bat, the ring, the circle, the star, the dot, the bridge. Whose
we can
turn
go
is
with
this
Sam.
one?
It's Sam.
No idea. Adventure was pretty much. I'm gonna say it was the dot, just because Adventure didn't have like a whole lot in the way of graphics.
Yeah, most Atari games didn't. I'm going to go with the dot as well, just because. Like, it might have been something else, but it always looked like a dot, so close enough. How about you, Ian? You going to be the lone wolf again?
Well, how do they say... What are they going to say is the difference between the circle and the dot?
Well, you can't make a circle in old Atari games. It's always square. So maybe it was a star. What do you want to bet it was something like a star? That's like a dot, only different and artsier.
Well, I think I'm going to go with the star. It's probably the dot, but I'll go with the star.
Alright, see, I'm wearing them down. This is how I win these games. The answer is...
So you guys were going with that, right? Oh, you guys are...
Yes, we have come up. We have gone from being the underdog to the overdogs. Now I need to pick off Sam.
Yep.
Okay, so this is your turn.
Alright. Name one video game that is made up of 5 video games. What are they?
You don't
What?
give me multiple choice.
Oh.
What? Wait. What?
Yeah, I can't actually. I have to read it because I keep seeing NoRights Podcast instead of the list of questions.
No,
Yeah, click on my screen.
well, I've got
Oh,
it clicked. It
I
should,
guess
it
that
should be
makes
there.
sense.
Yeah, it should be. He's supposed to be on the main
Oh,
screen.
shoot.
I clicked it. So.
Oh, okay, that was my fault. I was wondering why I kept on switching back and forth while you were talking, and that's why. Okay. Let's see here. Name one video game that's made up of 5 video games. What are they?
Okay, let me. This is mine one, so I've got to think of something that's made up of 5 video games.
Okay. Oh,
Um.
I got one.
Well, what was that Nintendo World Championship game? Wasn't it? That one's made up of 5 different games, or multiple different games. But I can't remember. It's like,
I'm playing Cutthroat, so you go first. I got my answer.
I'm gonna say Nintendo Champions. Although I'll bet you've got something like Smash Brothers, don't you? You're gonna say something that's
Close.
so obvious.
Super Mario All Stars was composed of Mario 1, Mario the Lost Levels, Super Mario Brothers 2, and Super Mario Brothers 3.
Does that really count though? Because that's like saying that like those Atari collections and the Sega Genesis collections that have the entire library on like one disc. You know, I don't know.
Then they had Mario World packaged in as well sometimes. So That's
what are you
the only
going
one
with,
I can
Sam?
think.
I need to know so I can copy off of you here.
that's the one. That's what I'm going for. Super Mario All Stars. I could be wrong, but that's the one I know for.
Well, the thing is, if I picked another one and just said, well, what games are they in that one game that's 5 games? It's like, I could be wrong. Because there's that Nintendo Championship, I know there was Mario, and then, Super Mario Brothers, and I think there was Rad Racer, but I cannot, for the life of me, remember any of the others.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, the problem is there's games like GTA that has a lot of sub games in there and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like Wii Sports. It could have, like,
That wouldn't be inaccurate.
See, that's the thing with this vague one. It's like, they're expecting one answer, but you could easily fill that with like 5 different answers.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if they got multiple answers. If they don't, we can just call that a mulligan because you know.
It doesn't have any multiple choice. If it had multiple choice, I would put it in there.
Well, I guess whoever actually gets it because that's
I'm
a real.
going with Sam.
Yeah,
Sam Doug,
I could be wrong.
Mr. Anonymous here.
Well, no, I know I'm right.
I'm gonna go with Sam Doug because I don't know the rest of the games in the Nintendo World Championship game. So,
Okay.
Gorf,
Gorf?
made up of Astro Battle, Laser Attack, Galaxians, Space Warp, and Flagship.
Oh, freaking juggle my nads.
Gorf
Gorf.
does golf. That's just.
That sounds like something Goofy plays. Gosh, man, gosh, let's go play some Gorf.
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 Gorf is an arcade game released in 1981 by Midway.
Well, there you have it.
These arcade games from before I was born.
Hey, boo boo. Hey, boo boo.
I didn't know Louis Armstrong was Yogi Bear. The things you learn.
Whoa, what you do, Valsargent? Oh, shoot. Ow, ow, ow.
Did I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Okay, this next one, I really want to say,
Well,
we really
it's
shouldn't.
my turn to go, so... go.
Okay.
I need to read it first before both of you can
Yeah.
jump on it.
Fine.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Go ahead, man.
This video game heroine, the kind you shoot in your arms, is killed early in her adventure, and game fans persisted for years with rumors about being able to resurrect her. Eris, Princess Peach, Chun-Li.
Seriously? So we're gonna drag this out. We're gonna do it the whole way. We're gonna pretend we don't know the answer.
Well, go ahead, Ian. It is your turn.
Suspense.
I guess I'll go with Sean Lee.
What?
I'm gonna go with Ben.
Okay. Eris.
I'm gonna go with Eris as well. Ian's made his decision.
Yes, I do.
He said what he said.
He said what he said, and he stuck to it, and I respect him for that.
An elephant's faithful, 100%.
Yeah?
You guys got 6, I got 4.
Alright. Which company has
Damn it.
made the most arcade games as of 2000? Capcom, Atari, Williams, Bally Midway, Konami, Nintendo, or Sega? Whose turn is this?
This is you.
Oh, wow. Which one? Arcade games of 2000? I want to say Capcom. Just because. I want to say Capcom just because of Street Fighter, and it could be Midway as well. Because, Mortal Kombat, but...
I'm gonna say Capcom because I think they've done more variety. Like I think Midway might have done more machine. Like, are we talking about numbers of different games or just like units and stuff?
Games. Their Konami would go a valid one too. Let's go with you go with Capcom. I'll go with Konami.
And which one are you doing, Ian?
I'll do the Midway.
He's going Sega just to be a rebel.
Well, you said
Okay,
Midway.
Yeah. I was just trying to sink him even more. That's what we do on this show.
Oh, really? That sucks.
I'm feeding him all the wrong answers.
This guy's poker face.
Why would you do that?
Huh?
What are you doing?
None of us got it right.
I told you to go for Sega. You didn't listen.
Well, I guess it's easy to make arcade games when you don't have a console anymore.
Oh man, I'm sure if somebody from Sega was listening, they would totally be burned by that. We just burned ourselves.
What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Release a bad Sonic game? Oh.
Well, when they did, what was it?
All of them.
Was it Bayonetta 2 that they? Was it Bayonetta 2 or some other game where somebody approached them to do a sequel and they're like, well, we want to do it, but if you want to do the license, all right. So,
Sure.
I don't know.
It happened.
Yeah. According to a song by Buckner and Garcia, which classic video game's maze is a wonderland at night? Miss Pac-Man, Mousetrap, Berserk, Lock and Chase, Pac-Man.
Wow, Lock and Chase takes me back. Oh man.
Damn.
This sounds like this is like a trick question too. If it's because it's there's two different Pac-Mans.
So this is Ben going first then.
Wonderland at night. I'm going to say Miss Pac-Man because that sounds like they're trying to seduce Mrs. Pac-Man. They're trying to make her into like the graduate, Miss, you know what I'm saying?
I'll go with Berserk.
They're trying to say her body is a wonderland at night.
Oh my. Oh my.
Ooh my.
Oh my.
Ooh my.
Oh my.
I think I'll let Ben take me down with this.
Right.
Take you down to
Take me.
Chinatown.
Yeah.
Take you down to
Let's
Paradise
see.
City.
Oh!
He took us both down.
Yes!
Oh no, the guest is shot ahead.
You guys!
You took us both down, Ben.
Well, no, I'm just gonna have to burn this whole lane down. I'm gonna burn this mofo down. That's
Here
all.
we go.
All right.
This is it. It's got real.
Which of the following is not a weapon in Final Fantasy IV?
No,
Masoon?
that's 6.
6?
You don't know
Okay.
your Roman
I don't know noodles, man. They're all floppy
Ramen
and crap.
noodles?
Anyway, Masasume, Maruasame, Ragnarok, Excalibur. Also,
Yeah.
I am not a professional announcer, so who's
This is me going.
okay?
I got a pressure's on me. Yeah, I don't know any of those. I was definitely not a Final Fantasy fan. Although I did like the 3D movies. I'll go with myself. Looney. The A. I'm going with A. Ragnarok. This Final Fantasy was more of an Asian thing, I guess. So.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Ragnarok.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Ragnarok as well. I know it's in Final Fantasy, but I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know what it is.
yeah. I'm sorry, I have ADD. I freaking blanked out for a second. Ragnarok in like 8 was like the ship or something. Like that usually goes with the ship. I don't know if it's ever been used as a sword or not, but I know Masamune, whatever, and Excalibur and Excalibur, they've all been in Final Fantasy games as swords.
See, I never really played Final Fantasy, but I watched the Spoonie Experiments summary of them all.
This whole thing is really putting a disadvantage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you've actually had a life and did not play video games.
I played video games, just I only played the ones I had. So if you ask me anything about Super Mario Brothers, 1 and 3 and 2.
So
So
that's how I'm going
Are
to
you-
see.
Are you being smart, Ben, unlike me, and going with the game guru here?
Well, I was gonna say Ragnarok anyway, because I think I know of it, but I don't think I know of the answer, but I don't think I know exactly the answer. So yeah, okay.
So you're going with the game.
Huh?
So you're going with the game guru.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. What's the answer?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So now I have to get ahead of you guys. Little will you know, I'll just swoop around and.
No,
Just-
you're still ahead of me then.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
You got 6, I got 5, and you
Oh,
got 7.
okay. So I just have to focus my eyes on taking down Sam. Gotcha.
Perhaps.
I'm just happy because if I lose, I won't look that bad.
One of gaming's greatest myths has to do with the thousands of Atari 2600 cartridges of this game being buried in the desert. Combat, Pitfall, or E.T. Really?
Your turn, Sam.
What'd you say? No, I see the question. What was your response?
No, it's your turn to go first.
Oh, it's me to go first. It's C, E.T.
E.T. phone home from
It was
inside
so-
landfill.
Yeah, there were so many unsold copies that they ended up taking it to a New Mexico landfill and running a steamroller over them just to get rid of them. So legends tell.
So you're going.
Well, I know the
Going
answer.
with
I know
E.T..
the answer is E.T. Yeah.
Okay.
I was there.
Phone home.
You see, I was
Who
the
you going
cartridge.
with, Ben?
E.T. phone home.
That wasn't E.T. at all. That was weird.
Well,
You're just channeling something there, aren't you, Sam?
B, I'm going with C.
E.
Give us C.
Well, it
it
should be
is.
something unrelated. Oh,
Was E.T.
what was that? Did you know they've made E.T. pornos?
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, they're quite terrifying. There was one that was a period piece. So,
Hey, this is.
alright.
Give us
What
that
an-
announcer voice.
What Nintendo character was named after landlord Shigeru Miyamoto's once had? Samus Aran, Kong, Luigi, Mario, Zelda. No, Key, that's not the answer. Okay, who's... Now, Key is my papa. Look, you can You can play the next round of trivia. Okay, geez. Anyway. So, okay, whose turn is it?
Here.
I'm going to go with Samus.
I'm going with Mario.
Is that just a guess, or do you know it?
Maybe a little
Yeah.
column A, a little column B.
Well, Miyamoto, that was Mario's creator, wasn't it? But then again...
But there is Luigi in there, too.
Yeah, but nobody cares about Luigi, even him. Although Luigi's got that death stare in the new game. I will end you. I'm Luigi.
I'm Luigi.
Yeah, I've got Princess Daisy. Nobody cares about her. Nobody remembers Daisy.
I am Daisy.
Anyway.
I'm Daisy.
Okay. It's me, Mario. That's what I'm going to go with.
Okay, I think Mario was... I remember hearing him talk about this story once, but I can't... Fine, I'm going with the crowd, Mario. Watch it be Samus, and I just look like a total tool.
Yep, Mario.
That's right, I don't care if I look like a tool. I'm still not losing.
Yeah, dude's still alive. I don't know if he's still retired or not, but he was a landlord, and he came in about the rent and something, and they had a talk, and...
Mamma mia, you make a video game about me. I want the royalties.
Yeah. He's never, like, publicly acknowledged it or anything. He's just kind of kept out of the public eye.
Yeah.
I think he's embarrassed by it, which makes it even funnier.
Well, wouldn't you be if someone made a racial stereotype character of you? I mean, Mamma mia, I don't talk like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's either you give him the Italian accent or the thick Brooklyn accent. Hey, let me tell you about this here. Alright. In 1976, a video game called Death Race hit the scene. Why was it so controversial? Whose answer is this one?
This is me, damn it.
Answer it, Ian. Answer the question. Why was it so controversial?
Answer the goddamn question. Share the load.
I don't think that's
Ew.
I don't know if that's the kind of commentary we want.
Yeah.
Share the load.
I've seen films with that. I'm sure that's a director's commentary. Well, what you do in this scene when all these guys are... Never mind. So what is it, Ian?
I don't know. I have no clue. I'm just
no-
gonna say that it was like something that it was just like too political or
Oh,
whatever.
we have here. Small object.
So you're gonna just say what?
It was. Oh, actually, I'll just go with the mainstream answer. It was. It gave people seizures, I guess.
I don't think Ian even really wants to play. I think he just wants to see us fight.
I want to say it had. I have no idea. I'm just gonna go with it. It had nudity or something.
Well, I remember that this one was because you get to mow down pedestrians. So...
That
yeah.
seems obvious.
I was
but
gonna
that's
go
probably
with it was too violent.
You mow down pedestrians.
How could a game called Death Race be violent?
Well, you got Jason Statham in there, and he's like, I'm gonna run you over. And you know, it's like, okay.
Show you.
Well, so let's get this straight. So you're saying it was too violent. I guess that it was.
Well, you mow down
because it gave you
pedestrians.
seizures, and then he was saying it was because of nudity.
In 1976, because those pixel boobies, man. Woo, that's too much.
Yes.
In Death Race, you drove a car and it tried to run over little human-like figures. When you hit one, it would squeal and a cross would replace it on the screen. Many people were not amused.
Ooh.
Oh my.
Okay, we
Oh
gotta get
my.
it.
My.
Oh yeah. I am now Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah. Okay, that's more Macho Man than Kool-Aid, but... Can you imagine Macho Kool-Aid Man Randy Savage? Oh yeah! Snap to a Slim Jim.
Oh yeah.
Slim Jim flavored Kool-Aid. I don't know how I feel about that idea. How many dots are there on a Pac-Man board? Who answers this one?
That would be Sam. I am. Mr. Sam, I am.
I want to say 255, but I have no idea.
Are we playing by like Price is Right rules? Whoever gets it without going over.
Let's just say the closest, I guess.
I think it's something under 300, but I'm gonna say 200. 200 is a good round number.
I'll go with. Well, actually, I have to ask why did you think of that number, Sam? What made you think of it?
With Pac-Man in particular, the memory of games at the time never reached beyond 256.
Right.
Because it was 0 up to 255. Like, did you ever play the original Zelda?
No.
Okay, you're not even a person to me anymore. No, just kidding.
Well,
in the original Zelda, if you wanted to get rupees, you could only get 255 rupees because you couldn't get any more. It would overflow or it'd cycle back or something. Even if I'm wrong with the number of dots, I do know that 255 was the maximum number of levels you could ever play in Pac-Man. Before it would start to glitch out to a split screen level of just gibberish. So.
Okay, well, Ben's going with 200. I'll go the other side of the spectrum and say 300.
All right.
Okay then.
Yeah,
Let's see.
240.
Oh,
240.
So
I was
that would be
closest.
Sam. Yeah.
It's closest, but if we were playing by Price is Right rules,
I was closest.
you said 250 something. 240 is lower than 250 something.
255. Full Metal Jacket.
What mystical object was rumored to be obtained in The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time but was not truly accessible in the game? The Ocarina of Time, the Triforce, the Master Sword. And this is me, isn't it?
I guess.
No, this. I think. Oh no. No, that was, yeah, it's Steve.
Okay. Let's see.
Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 da 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 da.
Okay then. So, I'm pretty sure there's an ocarina in it, but
There's also a Triforce in there and a Master Sword.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying. I'm gonna say the Triforce. I'm gonna say it's a thing you could do, but it's not an actual thing you could get. I don't know. I didn't.
I agree. I will agree with that.
Yeah, I'm going with that too.
All right. So what's the copycats? Everyone just wants to be like me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, baby. Why don't you try the force?
You better
What?
get some kind of force to catch up with Sam there, Ben.
What was the object of the Atari game Roadrunner? You were running a foot race. You were the Roadrunner avoiding Wile E. Coyote. You laid out roads by manipulating the joystick and avoiding roadblocks.
You see.
I'm gonna say C as well.
Bam, I am.
I'm gonna say Roadrunner. They probably licensed. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's the Roadrunner, the actual cartoon. So B.
Please give it a C. Are you sticking with C?
I'm sticking with C. What?
What?
Um.
I think you might have a duplicate.
Ian.
Siberia?
Okay, we'll just delete that. Okay, it was.
So what was the answer?
I don't know.
Well, it's the same questions.
We'll skip. What?
It was the same question. So what was the answer? Was it any different in that one?
Oh yeah.
You were the Roadrunner.
Yeah.
Boo! Boo!
Yeah.
Licensed Atari games. There weren't that many of those.
Yeah, not like there's E.T. or anything.
Well, I mean, there was an Indiana Jones game, and that was kind of a rarity because there were like actual levels to that.
Okay, so I'm gonna do these since that was a duplicate. We got 2 left to do here.
True or false? The iconic video game Donkey Kong was so named due to a mistranslation of the name Monkey Kong.
False.
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 Sibilance.
False.
Sibilance.
Especially since we just had that like one of the first questions.
Yeah, it was like, we had a big discussion about like, hi, my name's Dave, and I like Donkey Kong.
I remember that quite clearly. It's exactly how it happened.
On the first day of its existence, the original Pong game broke down. Why?
Well, I probably wore out from use.
I know the answer to this one, but I'm going to wait to hear what Ian has to say.
Well, I thought I went first time.
What? Ian?
And
What?
it's supposed to be your turn on this one.
Well, I know the answer to this one, though, so you're just going to copy me.
Okay, well, I'm trying to think.
Could it be Gremlins? No, it was not Gremlins. Could it be gnomes? No. No, it was not. Could it be trolls? No. No magical creatures of any kind.
I don't know. I guess I'm just.
What happened is that Gaben went back in time after spending all of his money on Steam sales to make a time machine and broke the original Pong game. True story, man.
I'm just gonna say it was just too much. It was too graphically intensive for it.
I am going to say that people were jamming so much goddamn money into it. It
Yeah,
broke.
it got so many quarters that the machine broke, and he went out to repair it, and he opened it, and it just spilled out with quarters. So, yeah. But you first said it was use. It was quarters. All right.
Well, so what are you saying, Sam? Are you saying?
I'm saying it was quarters.
Okay.
It was extremely popular.
Yeah, it was overstuffed.
Yeah.
Well, you were ahead of Ben by 2, so you had 12 and you have 14 now. So technically, Sam won now.
Oh, I see.
You finished this. You finished this with honor.
That's it. Let me get my batleth. I'm just gonna have to take you out now.
Here we go.
Oh, there's to it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Here's your winter music. You're so awesome, Sam. You're
Congratulations, brother.
I'm honored. I'm honored.
You get that built.
Congratulations,
Today I'm a warrior.
you're
Yay!
a gigantic video game nerd. Congratulations.
Because remember, whoever wins, you really lose.
Yes.
Whoever wins, we all lose.
Nobody wins and all will fade to shadow.
You're all horrible people and the orphanage burned down. Well,
And all her furry woodland buddies failed to save her.
I heard some podcasts they were doing existentialist or nihilist Mickey. There's no meaning to life.
We're all gonna die someday, kid.
It's all just darkness. No afterlife. It's like,
I can't go on.
So I believe that concludes about 3 hours of entertainment this week, kids. After being off the air.
I only swore like 3 times.
Yeah, damn it, son of a bitch.
No, I mean the really bad ones.
Oh, okay.
That's what I usually do. Is I go on, I start swearing like a sailor, only be a frog.
Yeah, that was
Sailor.
pretty shitty of you.
I found it. What is it? It really is. But yet it's so freeing.
Yeah, you guys swear like sailors, and I'm just sitting here like Michigan J Frog, just when nobody's looking. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my right tongue out. And then when everybody looks.
I no. It's okay though. It's all right. I mean, it's an act. It's a show. It's not really something I do in real life. I don't go around to like orphanages and say, "Hey, I'm coming with the frog." I don't usually actually swear that much in real life. I just.
Why are there so many songs
Songs
about
about
rainbows? What's on the other side? Well, anyway, I think that's about a good time to call it. I mean, we could still hang out and chat after the show if you guys like to.
That'd be nice.
Actually, I do have to go, so you guys can chat away amongst yourselves.
So he's going to be
say-
what we're going to be talking about the whole time. Can you believe that Ian guy?
Oh man, he doesn't even play Zelda.
Never even played the Zeldas. I bet he thinks Zelda's the guy you're playing.
Dude, I'm so
Metroid's
far
a cool
behind.
character.
Dude,
Hey, guys!
I'm so far behind. Zelda Ocarina of Time was the first Zelda game I played.
Metroid shoots the bad guys and isn't afraid of anything.
Anyway, so I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in this week. We'll be back. So Ian wants to do a show on Sunday, you say?
Well, maybe. We'll see how my
Maybe.
friend feels.
So we might do one on Sunday, or we might do one on Monday. So I guess I shouldn't schedule it. I shouldn't, because I usually schedule them for the
I
thing.
may as well do a plug. I actually do a podcast as well. I review
Yeah, let's
bad
hear your
webcomics. Hi, hello everyone. This is Kermit the Frog here. I do a podcast about terrible webcomics, and I go on and we do a drinking game based on terrible webcomics. So for about 2 or 3 hours, we just go and we have a good time. We get some booze, we read some bad webcomics, we get stinking drunk, and it's a good time for everybody except for me.
Bad webcomics, but Sam, what are you talking about? There aren't any bad webcomics. There must be a short show.
Yeah, there's quite a few actually. Yeah.
Oh, is that how you found me? You started reading my comics, and you're like, oh, okay.
So I'm gonna throw out 2
Come
words.
on.
No, that's harsh. That's harsh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right. So
Unless-
you're like,
unless you're David
that's
Connor.
harsh. You're like, that's harsh. Like I even read your stuff. Come on now.
Come
honestly.
on. I didn't know you did a comic.
So throw out a link, and I'll give us a link, and I'll put it in the show notes to the show.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Hang on a second here. It's just we do every. We actually, I'm doing one tomorrow. Let's see. Where's my? The name. It's on live stream. The name of the site. The name of the show is actually called The Midnight Gonk.
Badonkadonk?
Yeah, it's based on the Something Awful Smiley Gonk, which looks like a guy. It's like a little yellow face. It's like just throwing his head back and just going like kind of like really like sobbing, Hang on, I'll show you a Gonk. This will be key for your training.
Okay then.
Hang on here.
Badonkadonk. Badonkadonk.
Here we go.
Yes.
Let's see. That's the site. Oh, what the hell? I can't get anything to work on this.
Join the club.
Welcome to our show.
Yeah.
Every time we try to make something work, hey, guess what? It worked 5 minutes ago, but when we need it, no.
Yeah.
We'll see if that works.
plus on top of that, doing it last
Yeah, that's
minute, too.
the gong smiley if you want to look at that.
Oh,
Well, if we
poor
want to
guy.
look at it, I guess.
Poor little badonkadonk. So,
Donk,
anyway.
donk.
Oh,
Right.
man.
So it's every Tuesday at 7 o'clock we get started.
Is that Eastern Standard? Let's see, you're in...
It's Eastern Daylight Savings Time.
in,
Just
in
across the
America.
border. My co-host Vengeance of Pandas on he's a born and bred Scotsman, so for him it's midnight when we get
Okay.
started. Hence the
Scotsman.
name, a Scotsman.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh yeah. By the way, Sam, if you get a chance, send Ben your a decent resolution picture of you, because I'm trying to catch up on our thumbnail pictures for the show. Because if you notice, we really don't have any pictures.
Oh, sure, yeah, I can get you one.
For a second there, that sounded like, it's like, so can you get a picture of yourself, like, lying on a bearskin rug next to a fireplace? Just
I
like
basically am wearing a bearskin rug at all times. It's a genetic condition,
Oh, yeah.
so I didn't really want to share, but at the same time I'm not ashamed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's why the
anyways, I could
webcam's not
just-
on. It's that kind of show, folks.
Yeah,
Alright.
and thankfully I'm going to be going here soon. You guys
Right.
can keep talking about that
What get you called? What?
rug. Ooh.
Oh boy. So anyway, folks, I think for Ian and Sam, Doug, and myself, I'd like to say thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all on the other side.
Peace.
Ace.
I said peace.
Peace. Peace is ace, man. Rock on.
Damn it, that music. Damn it, I thought the music was playing and it wasn't hijacking.
Okay, let me do it. Mine should work this time.
No, mine's louder and more awesome. I mean, wait, hold on a second. To find out more, visit NoRightsProductions.com. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/NoRights. And hey, why don't you check out my Tumblr at NoRights.tumblr.com.